Welcome everyone, welcome to the greatest spectacle in sim racing. Welcome to the 2021 Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 here on Apex Racing TV. My name's Jonathan Grabowski, and joining me alongside tonight in commentary and in production is my good friend Marco Barbonera, as we get ready for this fantastic race of 200 laps, 500 miles at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just to kind of give you some of the background of tonight, we have a fixed setup race, one fast repair, 100% fuel, and a 4 tire limit, so drivers have to conserve their tires tonight for sure. Looking at last year's race, Adrian Pazos won in a thriller with a pass on the front stretch coming to the checker. So let's see if it happens again this time around. And looking at the starting grid for the race, on pole Octavio Ronaldo. In second, Kenny Nakagashi. In third, Paul Jenkins. Fourth, Nick DeGroot. 5, Covey Moore. 6, Twan Van Beld. 7, Anthony Garcia. 8, starting 8th, Craig Forsyth. Starting 9th, Juan Manquillo. Starting 10th, David Henger. Starting 11th, Lucas Lemus-Lome. Starting 12th, John Silva. And 13th, Charles Deed. On the 14th spot, Jeff Only. Starting 15th, Caden Through. Starting 16th, Juan Jimenez. Starting 17th, Eric Jeffrey. Starting 18th, Geraldo Subri. Starting 19th, Robert Zelinka. Starting 20th, Tyler Scott. In the 21st position, Kevin Adam. Starting 22nd, Lucio Vargas. In 23rd, Daniel Rossi. And 24th, Miguel Cardozo. Starting 25th, Aaron Brown. Starting 26th, Bla Mena. Starting 27th, Kurt Rose. Starting 28th, Sugiyama Takuto. Starting 29th, William Kruzka. And 30th, Isaac Snyder. And the final row is Sergio Navasukas, Michael Chin, Greg Conway, and we get a 34th starter in Bruno Castro Albis. So 34 drivers starting at this race.
Hello everyone, yeah, now everyone can hear me, sorry about that. I was told that we were going to have 33 drivers starting nonetheless, so the unlucky 34th and backwards, because we had 38 cars and I see only 33 cars on the grid, I mean driving around. So yeah, we're going to have 33 starters, and believe it or not, Jonathan, I have more than 100 official victories in IndyCar on iRacing. So
do you really?
Yes. So some of these names, I haven't been driving the car as much the last couple of seasons, but it's probably the only car in fixed setup conditions, because open I'm terrible, of course, that I have more or less. I know what I'm doing. So I mean, it's great because I know some of these names. I know the prestige of winning at Indianapolis, of course. My close friend Michele Cosentini finished second this season for ART and won the Open Wheel 500 a couple of years back. So, I of course watched the official race the other day. And my close friend Alessandro Daredonne, I think you know him, won the
Yes, we know Alessandro.
The Majors 500 last season. So here at Apex TV we have a bit of a tradition, but tonight is all about the sim races for Mental Health Indy 500, which is starting right now.
And here we go. We're going to start 2 by 2. And we're off. Rondado with the start as he pulls away and gets a couple car lanes. Jenkins drops into second. Nabakashi drops into third. DeGroot now up to third.
A caution.
Oh, we have a caution.
Oh, we have a big one straight away to start the night. Several cars are involved.
Ooh.
It's absolutely a big one. Many good cars have been taken out straight away. So, just like that, the caution flag waves. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. On board with Vargas.
Already in front of him, you can see some smoke. Great avoiding action. Does he make it through? He does. So it was not him that was involved. See if it was Gerardo Subira. Maybe. Ooh.
Yep. Subira in the player's livery.
And
Ooh,
not only
yeah.
him, I'm afraid. Also, I think Kevin Adam was one of the cars that was involved. Oh, that's where. Okay, so it was Gerardo and Kevin. They made contact, and then in front of them, I would imagine. You know, some people maybe panicked a bit or try to take avoid. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to take avoiding action with these cars at these speeds, especially at the beginning of the race. And so we are under caution for the first time already. It is sim races for mental health, and it's Paul Jenkins who got picked up by the pace car as expected. He was leading the race when the caution came out, and we have a very, very wounded car there on the top right of the screen. I think that is Kevin Adam, and we can jump.
That is Kevin Adam.
And that wheel is hanging on by dear life.
He will definitely be using his one quick fix, right? Fast repair right now. Oh! Trouble for Adam as he enters the pits. He's gonna have to try to turn it around and hit the pit wall.
That's I think his
We have
teammate.
another car coming down. Oh.
He had to tow back to the pits. I think the front right broke away definitely. You know, when he spun, and so he had basically no control over his direction. So first caution of the night. I want to, of course, say a big thanks to everyone watching, and let's remember we are here for a beautiful cause. Thanks to Sim Racers for Mental Health sponsoring this race, and there will be a link that is going to be on your screen every once in a while. That is very, very nice, because you can actually go there and make a donation, and I will promise you it will be on the screen in a second.
You just beat me to it, Marco. Actually, I just dropped it in the YouTube chat. So your gift means we can bring hope to 1 in 5 Americans living with a mental health condition. Together, we are fighting smarter, better, and harder than we ever have before. Without your help, over a century of service to those in need would not be possible. So thank you for your support. Donations go to, National Association for Mental Health, and what a great cause. So as you can see, Marco has now placed it on the screen. So when you get a chance, please click and donate.
Absolutely.
So great racing here for a great cause.
Absolutely, and Sim Racers for Mental Health, of course, have done with us a big enduro earlier in the season in Daytona, if I remember correctly. That also was very well attended. There were a lot of there was a lot of great racing in that one. As I think the lights on the pace car are about to go off, so we might be getting closer and closer to the restart of the race.
Looks like next time around, Octavio Rondoletto will be leading this with Paul Jenkins in third, Paul Jenkins in second, Nick DeGroot in third, and Kei Nabakayashi in fourth. So that's going to be your front four, with 4 laps into the Sim Racers for Mental Health in Indy 500. And while we have brief minute, just want to remind everyone watching on Apex Racing TV, thanks for watching us, and we have some great things. You can check out Apex Racing on YouTube. So subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell icon, and you will be notified when we go live. And while you're at, like and comment on what we have going on. Also, if you're into Twitch, check out our Twitch page, twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV. And on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just look at the name Apex Racing TV, all one word. As we ride on board with Rondoletto.
Yes, and we have not one, I think a couple of corners left before we go back to green flag racing. So it's Rondoletto from Jenkins, from De Groot, Nakabayashi, and Kobe Moore. Now Nakabayashi, I was so excited because we had another, he's always happy when you have Japanese drivers in the race, because I can show off my terrible Japanese pronunciation, but one of them was taken out already, so it's only Nakabayashi left.
Well, you can pronounce his name since you enjoy. And looks like we're gonna head off. Rondoletto with the jump as he enters turn 1, followed by Jenkins to Groot and Nakabayashi. More in 5th. Single file now as we enter the back straight.
We have, I think the number 33 and the 24 going side by side here on the backstretch.
We got Cardozo riding on board with Tyler Scott, running in 16th, up 4 spots from where he started. Comes out of turn 4 and now down the front stretch trying to get a draft off of Cardozo. Up ahead, looks like Zelenka and Rossi are 2 wide going into 1, and they take the right move and get back single file.
Off Garcia.
Anthony Garcia in trouble. And it looks like we're going to stay green.
Yeah, the racing virtual officials are okay with that, apparently, as he's getting closer here at the front, because Jenkins is looking more and more dangerous at the moment. I mean, as soon as we can, I want to show you a replay of what happened, but already they are playing the game of moving up, moving down, trying to break the draft. It's only lap 7, which starts right now.
Jenkins went purple last time around, running a 41.30, so he is definitely the fastest man currently on track, running in 2nd place. The group not too far behind as we ride on board with Paul Jenkins. Rondoletto trying to break Jenkins' draft, tucks back up and drops down.
So, among the chaos, I was able to find a message in the chat that says that the tire limit has been scrapped. So it's going to be a tire change bonanza for these drivers every time we have a...
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. And Jenkins goes to the outside. Can he make the pass? Here we are, 2 wide off the short chute, now down to the backstretch. Jenkins tucks back in, and he gets a run down the backstretch. Rondoletto low. Here we are, side-by-side racing. And it looks like De Groot's going to try to join the party now in the yellow car, number 89. De Groot running a little lower line. Let's see whose draft he's going to take. He's going to tuck in. Oh, now he's going to try to split the 2. Here we go, 3 wide down the front stretch. Rondoletto, De Groot, Jenkins. Let's see what happens. Rondoletto, De Groot will get 2nd, and Jenkins will drop back to 3rd.
Oh, that's a
great driving by these 3 drivers.
And De Groot has a fantastic run coming out of 1 and 2. He might even fancy his chances also. Nakabayashi is coming with great speed, putting Jenkins under pressure for 3rd place. They all stay in the same positions, but I wonder for how long, because De Groot seems to be a man on a mission.
Groot last time running a 41.36, Rondoletto running a 41.66. Definitely getting help from the draft. We'll see if Jenkins can catch back up, because he was looking really racy about 2 laps ago, Marco.
Yeah, and his fighting up front is creating a little bit of compression. It seemed like the top 3 drivers were able to pull away after the restart, but not anymore. And now De Groot still on the outside, still with a great exit. He temporarily takes the lead. Let's see in the corners.
Side by side, Rondoletto and De Groot. De Groot drops back, running a little higher line than Rondoletto coming out of that turn as they head back onto the front stretch, riding on board with Jenkins. Rondoletto doing all he can to break the draft right now as we start lap 11 of this 200-lap race at the Sim Races for Mental Health Indianapolis 500. Rondoletto running low, De Groot high. And Jenkins sitting there in 3rd. Coming down to the end of the back stretch. Can we go 2 wide? Yes, we will. Rondoletto low, De Groot up high. De Groot tucks back in. Rondoletto trying to break the draft out of the short chute. He does. And as they head on to the front stretch, we're going to be Almost too wide. Yes, we will be too wide. DeGroat is neck and neck with Rondoletto. Let's see what happens going into one. Rondoletto low, DeGroat high. DeGroat's going to tuck back in. Looks like DeGroat just can't get close enough to complete the pass. He's there, but not close enough.
Yeah, you are right, and it seems like so far Rondoletto is defending hard but fair. He can get side by side. They get side by side. Oh, now there's a beautiful move there by DeGroat, crossing their paths. One was going high, while the other was going low. They slow down a bit, and here comes Jenkins once again. They get so close to the pit wall there. Every time is so scary.
Yeah, Rondoletto, gets so close to that pit wall as we ride on board with Jenkins. Also, DeGroat doesn't appear to be forcing the issue too much. It looks like he'll take the option when possible, but he's not going to force it this early as we're 13 laps into this race. DeGroat drops out.
As now I think it could be good for DeGroat. I was about to make an observation, because this is absolutely the opposite of what we have seen in the official 500, where there was a lot of teamwork and a lot of swap drafting, and this is like the complete opposite. There is no kind of agreement. These guys are going balls to the wall straight away.
It's every man for himself right now, 14 laps into this race, as DeGroat's going to tuck back in this very nice yellow livery. Rondoletto in his, I believe that's a Junkos livery.
Yes,
he's riding. Knew it looked familiar.
Also metallic highlights on the car. Absolutely fantastic.
As we ride on board from Rondoletto, he goes low. DeGroat's going to go up high. And they are side by side. Literally side by side that lap as they cross the line. Rondoletto's going to jump back up in front. DeGroat's running a little bit of a higher lane. He's almost like running like half a groove higher than Rondoletto has. As we ride on board now with Nakabayashi, he's running in fourth, down 2 spots from where he started. And I'm also looking at, as we look at our wonderful SDK live timing, our top 4, license-wise, they're all A licenses with safety ratings of 4.41, 499, 446, and 466. So you have some really skilled, safe drivers up at the front who are very comfortable racing really close to one another.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are getting into that moment of the race where, this is a fixed setup, so everyone is running the same setup, and at some point it's going to become tougher and tougher to follow the car in front because of dirty air. And now we have a new feature since a couple of seasons back. In fixed setup races, you can adjust the weight jacker, which is a massive help, so we could see a bit more movement. Usually after a bit these races tend to be a bit more processional, but we'll see with the different use of the weight jacker that can help the car that's following, of course at a penalty of higher tire consumption and a little bit of a less stable car, but certainly good for the show. And as you can see, of course, from the pictures, you might the eagle-eyed would have noticed, the cars are of course running in the special Indianapolis package with the Indianapolis wheels and the aero configuration, which is unique to this racetrack.
Which you will see also in real life on Sunday for the Indianapolis 500 here. So as we drop back, we look at Lucio Vargas, currently running 14th, up 8 spots from where he started. As we get back to the lead, and DeGroat now on the outside, having a strong run. Rondoletto down low. And they're just going to go back and forth. DeGroat's going to tuck in. Rondoletto drops low to break the draft. DeGroat with a run. Let's see what happens as they enter turn 3. And they're going to stay in position. Jenkins is staying in third, calmly behind them. But Rondoletto and DeGroat right now have put on a show for everyone up at the front here. Looks like Jenkins is trying to get involved.
This could be a good one for DeGroat on the inside. Finally, Rondoletto leaves the inside open. The Groot takes advantage of it, and let's see how they run now on the backstretch. It's still Rondoletto is fastest. How is this possible?
What a run from Rondoletto. Looks like Nick DeGroat had that for completed the pass, but Rondoletto just charged by on the backstretch. Impressive. As we drop back, we look at Craig Forsyth, currently sitting in 6th. He is battling with Covey Moore. I'm sorry, that's Snyder. Actually, what I want to point out about Snyder, he is currently up 25 spots from where he started. So think about that. He's currently running 5th, so he would have started 30th. So big shout out to him so far early in the race to climb 25 spots.
I like that Craig Forsyth is Canadian and is running a Team Forsyth livery from the 90s. Similar.
Yeah. The Jacques Villeneuve, Greg Moore, Patrick Carpentier, great Canadian players livery.
Exactly, it's inspired by it, but it's not identical. But of course, it makes sense given his name and his nationality.
Absolutely. As we jump back up to our lead battle, these two have just been going at it. Rondoletto and Nick DeGroat have just been really hammering away at it. Last time around, Rondoletto with a 41.42 and DeGroat with the 41.36.
Nakabayashi is getting a bit more aggressive, I've noticed.
Yeah, Nakabayashi's currently sitting in 4th. Starting to, with Snyder behind him. And Jenkins in front of him.
This is Tyler Scott being passed by Sergio Navasquez. Running the Robbie Gordon liveries.
I think that's more Al Jr. Gallus livery. I think that's early 90s Al Jr. I love these old liveries. I'm of a certain age where I grew up with late 80s, 90s karts. So seeing some of these 90s liveries really brings back some memories, which is really fun to see. We take a look. Nakabayashi currently running 5th.
Hey, you got jumped by Snyder.
Pardon?
You got jumped by Snyder for 4th place now.
Oh, wow. Snyder now up to 4th, 26 spots. Unbelievable. Isaac Snyder is a man on the move. And Snyder now is thinking about Jenkins, but Nakabayashi is right behind him, as these guys are starting to battle it out. We watch Forsyth. Here we look at Twan van de Velde, currently sitting in 8th.
He went for a more modern look on his car. Still very good look, I have to say.
Yeah, I would agree. Silva running in 9th. He's up 3 spots from where he started. Riding on board, currently Robert Zlenka currently running in the 13th spot. Zlenka last time around running a 41.37, up 6 spots from where he started the race. And we have Daniel Rossi in front of him as they enter 1. Zlenka with one of the lower licensed drivers in this race. I'm just looking, see a lot of blue A's and green B's. Zlenka is a C-class licensed oval racer, so kudos to him for running up front.
This is the crash that Anthony Garcia had earlier. Apparently a little bit of contact with, I think, John Silva.
Ooh.
No, sorry, apologies to Silva. The contact was with Van Velde. There it is. Slight contact between the wheels. He was going around the outside. It was Garcia, and unfortunately for him, they just touched. And at those speeds, on the banking, it really takes nothing to send the car around. Garcia is still running. It took his fast repair, and he is at the moment 1 lap down.
Yeah, he just kind of just barely clipped him a little bit, and he went for a ride. But really interesting stuff as we watch Isaac Snyder making his climb up the continuing his climb up the field, running in 4th place. Paul Jenkins running in 3rd. Jenkins has settled in the 3rd after challenging up front for a little bit. As we look out the back of Ron DeLetto's car as they complete another lap onto lap 28 of this 200-lap race here at the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500. I think Ron DeLetto's kind of pulled away a little bit from De Groot.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second, and it's telling that we haven't seen them running side by side anymore on the straights, like we were seeing up until 4 or 5 laps ago. So. The growth gets close, but not close enough to be side by side, which I think has to do with the dirty air and worn tires now, as they go more and more into the stint. Following another car through the corners is getting more and more tougher and tougher, I should say. Especially, I always dread to think how bad it is to drive in the draft of another car which has the same setup as you. Coming out of turn 2, which is like the dangerous corner, in my opinion. There's a mistake from Jenkins because Nakabayashi now is up to 4th, so Snyder is up to 3rd, and so Snyder plus 27.
Unbelievable run for Isaac Snyder as Paul Jenkins, who was in 2nd for a little bit, has dropped now down to 5th. So we will keep an eye on him, and we'll keep an eye on Isaac Snyder as he's been making moves left, right, and center. And these two have been making moves left, right, and center. Ron DeLetto and De Groot have just been our two. Oh, and we got trouble. Kurt Rose.
And he was right in front of the leaders, but thankfully he kept it on the low side of the track. He lost it. Ooh,
let's see.
Ouch.
Ooh.
And you can see the leaders just going by.
Yep, and there go our leaders.
Officials very, not very keen on throwing the caution tonight.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I was just about to say that. The officials, we've only seen one caution. That was right at the start of the race, but they have decided to put away the, as we like to say in sports like football or hockey, put away the whistle. The officials have put away the caution flag, it seems like, tonight, so far.
John Silva for
to watch Silva. Okay. And back to our lead battle here. And just remember, folks, to support this great cause. So your gift means we can bring hope to 1 in 5 Americans living with a mental health condition. Together, we are fighting smarter, better, and harder than we ever have before. So without your help, over a century of service to those in need would not have been possible. So thank you for your support. So click on donate here, as you see the link on the screen, and support this. This is a great cause and a great race. As Ron DeLetto has entered the pit. First of our leaders to pit. You see how strategy changes now with the tire limit being scrapped. And a bunch of our leaders are going to pit. Looks like that's De Groot who jumps in the pits. Looks like Snyder and Jenkins as well. So our top guys are now starting to pit and see who comes next. Nakabayashi is now in the lead. I'm sure he'll be coming in soon.
And Jonathan, the pit entrance here in Indianapolis, so difficult to get right, especially after a long stint. where you have been, for those that don't know this, but this is so mentally draining, driving around at these speeds, having to think about the draft, the dirty air, the walls, the opponents, as far as it goes in, and then all of a sudden you have to switch into, I have to pit mode, which, you're not really used to pressing that brake pedal, and maybe sometimes you don't even remember how sensitive it is, and you have practiced a lot of times the pit entry, but it's never easy, after a long stint. And many a good driver has ended the race either by picking a speeding penalty that sent them basically one lap down, or worse, hitting the pit wall. It has happened a lot of times in iRacing, and so I wouldn't be shocked if we, it's a part of a normal set of mistakes. Now everyone else is coming in. It's like the ship coming down the hills with the Shepherd in Italy at the beginning of winter.
Whole gaggle of cars enter pit road as we see Lucio Vargas take the lead of the race. We've seen a bunch of guys now pitting. Looks like Kabayashi more. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers we see right now on the track, apart from Vargas, I'm talking about Games, Brown, Chin, and Mena, they all stopped on lap 2. They were the drivers who were able to take the fast repair without towing, so they are still more or less in the game. They are not, by any stretch of the imagination. And the Groot takes the lead, barely. Can he hold it in front? That has been the problem tonight.
Yeah, Rondeletto's has just great straightaway speed for some reason. Let's see what happens as we enter the turn. De Groot low, Rondeletto high, side-by-side racing, and looks like De Groot will come up on top. Rondeletto's going to tuck back in, pop out, see what run he can get. Side-by-side down the front straight into turn 1, side-by-side still. De Groot, these guys are just dead even.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
This is setting up things nicely for the end of the race. Hopefully they make it all the way there in one piece, because this is, they've been battling for 37 laps right now. They took a bit of a break before the pit cycle started, but now they are back at it, and we are back to square one with the roles reversed this time. It's the Groot who leads, and Rondeletto who tries to make the move from second places. Now everyone is in, apart from Games. He will pit in the next lap probably. Another one of those early stoppers due to the wreck. And then everyone will have done at least one stop of the cars that one regularly scheduled stop.
And as you say that, Games has entered the pits. So this will be your lead battle as it cycles around. Nick de Groot running in the yellow, number 89. Octavio Rondeletto running in the Yukos livery, number 32. As they go down the front stretch side by side, right on board with Rondeletto. De Groot a little bit ahead as they enter one, and it's going to be de Groot. Rondeletto will tuck back in. Snyder, the man on the move, up 27 spots, is currently running in third, and he's about half a second behind, so he's not completely out of it.
He is not, and look how big the draft is, and now looking on the inside, very brave from Rondeletto. De Groot keeps his cool and keeps the position, more importantly, on the outside. Now positioning his car better for the fourth corner and back onto the straight. Look at the speed. Oh, this is so dangerous. Ooh. And I think
Rondeletto blows into the lead.
Yeah, and Rondeletto, I think that when he moved to the right side of the road, to the outside, I think he said, this is getting a bit too, exciting for my, and let's hope to, it's beautiful, it's fantastic, we're having a lot of fun. He might be saying to himself, but we still have almost, 150, more than 150 laps left, so no need to risk it.
Absolutely, and as those two battle, Snyder and Nakabayashi have said, "Hey, we're going to join in potentially a little bit here." As we watch Rondello and DeGroat go side by side for a bit. Snyder is now creeping up to the back of DeGroat. As we ride on board, looking out the tail end of Rondeletto's car. On board with Isaac Snyder. Currently running in third, the man who's been the big mover of the race. He's going to take a lower line than DeGroat. Run a little bit higher as they come off of 4 and onto the front straight here to complete lap 40 of the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 here on Apex Racing TV. Now looks like the Kabayashi out back is starting to make it think about taking a move on Snyder.
Yeah, and I thought the DeGroat was going to stay put for a bit, but no, they were already crossing their lines into turn 1 and 2 there with Rondoletto. Now Nakabayashi on the inside of the brightly colored number 13 of Snyder.
Yeah, this front four has definitely started to break away from everyone. Jenkins, who was running so strong earlier, is now 5th. He's about a second and a half behind Rondoletto.
That was close coming out of one. With Snyder and Nakabayashi. On board with Snyder. So now goes down to 4th and back to only plus 26 on his starting position. As they are side by side from the lead at the front. Again.
These two have just been trading back and forth so over the past about 10 or so laps, especially after the pit stops, of just saying, you know, you can take it here this time, you take it this time. And they're running a little, their lines are a little bit different. DeGroat's been running a little higher up the track, Rondeletto's been running lower. As we watch this battle featuring Covey Moore. Moore and Henger battling each other here. As we look at the back of Henger's car at the 87 of Moore. Moore thought about looking to the inside, wasn't quick enough on the run. As we look out the in-car of Moore as he follows Henger into the turn. Back onto the front stretch to complete the 43rd lap here. Moore with the run. Let's see if he can do it going into 1. Drops low, and he does. Covey Moore moving up to 7th place here.
Go, Sean!
Oh. Ooh, someone looks like someone entering pit road. That's Zelenka. Robert Zelenka in trouble. Interesting to see what happened.
Interesting, because looks like he lost it. But
yeah,
replay a bit too late. Let's see if we can get it a bit earlier. There we are.
Here's Zelenka.
You know, there are not a lot of off-track points here that can help us pinpoint when something happens on the ovals. No, so we have to be creative to go back and find what happens. And it's not this lap. Beautiful. Let's try again.
Marco, I've been in your shoes many times, and I hate when that happens. We watch him. Did he? Oh, he just lost it. Tried to correct it. Overcorrected.
And yeah, so no contact with the wall, which is, you know, fantastic news. And it gives us time to catch our breath after what has been a very exciting opening quarter of the race. We are going to send you to this quick message from our good friends at the Virtual Racing School. Don't go away.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Thanks for joining us here on the 2021 Sim Racers for Mental Health Indianapolis 500 here on ApexRacingTV.com. Marco Barbonera and Jonathan Grabowski here. And while we have a brief moment, just want to thank some of our other sponsors. We have some great sponsors. SDK Gaming, sdk-gaming.co.uk. So this is such a great tool. Add virtual live HUD heads up, sorry, I called it HUD, heads up display to iRacing, showing live timing towers, enhanced relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculations, and more. You can stream to Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing. Most complete overlay on iRacing here. Broadcast your league and series. SDK Gaming syncs with your commentary team's cameras, focus drive, and overlay with your broadcaster. You can adjust your team strategy on the fly with our most accurate live timing on iRacing. That's SDK Gaming, sdk-gaming.co.uk. And also Apex Racing Academy, apexracingac.com. 29 data packs, setups, track guides integrated with VRS, weekly group coaching sessions, plus more. I want to get that ad in before the green flag drops, and it did, and Rondoletto is going to take off.
Yes, we'll have a video from the Academy later on, but let's go back live because, Rondoletto the Growth, by the way, no takers in the top 9 in the pit stop under the yellow flag, and caution is out.
Oh no!
It's Cardozo, another one of the Juncos cars.
I was gonna say that wasn't Rondoletto, that's Cardozo. Let's see what happened to him.
Ooh, we lost on the curb.
Oh no!
I have no idea. One of the cars, I don't know who he was, went by him and the wall. I don't know how. Oh, it was Garcia, the guy that had problems earlier. Let's look from his roll bar. You will see Code Brown moment. Oh no, he got clipped. Please tell me that
he lost though.
Oh no, I thought he made it through, but he didn't.
Unlucky for Anthony Garcia there.
And you know, he already used his fast repair, so that's going to be game
So-
over. And there he is.
Yeah.
And this is a big damage that probably won't be repaired.
3 wheels on Anthony Garcia's wagon right now. As we watch him enter the pits.
And he will get the message, too much damage, we are done, I think, in a sec. Or maybe he had...
Did he?
Wait a second.
Ooh.
Wait a second.
What's happening?
Don't tell me. He didn't use the fast repair the first time.
Really?
I don't know. I'm you know, it's a.
Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, you should have time. I mean, you will see a slideshow, but you know, judging by our past experience. But let's see. The first caution.
Yes, let's
see the
take a look
amount
at this.
Amount of damage he had. Which is not this, of course.
Nope.
Awesome. This was the big one at the start of the race, of course. So, please bear with me. 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning where Marco is, and he's getting ready for a Champions League final later today where he is.
Let's see. No, this needs a fast repair. I mean, there is no way. And he's back.
Or maybe they've given more fast repairs.
Yeah.
I mean, in that, you know, we saw that the tire limit was taken away, so maybe they changed the fast repair rule on that and gave people an extra bonus 1 or 2.
It's one fast repair. I'm seeing it right now. And you guys are seeing a splash screen because I don't want you to, of course, have to look at my terrible iRacing UI. Now we're back with live pictures. So, I mean, good for him.
Yeah,
He's still running on the apron, so I don't know if his car is pulling towards one side or not.
Yeah, it's like, did they throw a tire on and that was that? And so yeah, he's back into the pits.
Okay, I say this because of course I won more than 100 races with this car, but I also crashed in more than 100, no? So I remember one of the few races I did in 2021, where I went into the pits from the lead under green. I come out of the pits, it was at Las Vegas, I spun like a complete idiot and of course hit the wall. And my front left got the same damage that he had. And I went to the pits and my crew said, too much damage, we are done. So, based on my past experience, you know, but I can confirm it's only one fast repair, so.
Right. Yeah, that's what it appeared to be. Usually, you don't see in races like this. You don't see multiple fast repairs. It's either one or nothing. So, as we've hit the quarter mark here, currently at lap 51, with Octavio Rondoletto currently in the lead, Nick DeGroat in second, Kei Nabakayashi in third, Isaac Snyder fourth, Paul Jenkins fifth, David Henger sixth, Daniel Rossi seventh, Lucio Vargas eighth, Tyler Scott ninth, and John Silva currently running in the 10th spot. Yes, the lights are out on the iRacing pace car as we enter turn 3.
cautions have become shorter and shorter on the long tracks in racing, thankfully. A few years ago, especially here Pocono, Daytona, it was a mess.
It was rough. It was NASCAR 2003 style. Take forever cautions.
Oh man, the memories.
As we watch Rondeletto jump takeoff on the start. Entering one, here's the group right behind him. Nakabayashi in third, Snyder fourth, Jenkins fifth, Hanger sixth. So we ride on board with Rondeletto looking at the group behind him.
We have a car
with
off.
a run down the backstretch.
And the caution is
Uh-oh.
out.
That
Jason
looks
Parker.
like Jason Parker.
That must have been very early at the restart. He was going super slowly. Oh, and then he got collected.
No!
And he went straight into the wall. So
He got swallowed up on that.
Yeah. I mean, you will see he's letting everyone past. And then the car in front passes him, slows down. And no way through at that point. So a bit of a misunderstanding there, probably. And it was Van den Velde, I think. Yes, it was. And he has a bit of damage, I think. See it from his...
he has to after that.
Oh, he spun, okay, and...
Someone
collected. But yeah, he hit the wall and the suspension is broken. You can see the car is not sitting straight.
Yeah. Yeah, that car does not look right for Van de Velde.
So the drivers
we
were
have our
so nicely, you know, in the first 50 laps of the race. With the now, you know, caution after caution, as sometimes happens, and it's, you know, part of the deal when you have so many drivers with, you know, these incredibly fast cars that love to restart and, you know, use the draft, and maybe especially because you know that it could be. I mean, we've seen a lot of overtaking tonight, but it's still, of course, the mentality in Indianapolis that if you have to... Oh, there's a car in the fence there. There is a car in the fence, as it was Greg Conway.
Who was that?
He hit the wall as he was trying to enter pit road.
If we can get a replay of that, I would like to see. Here we go. What happened?
Here it already happened, so let's try again. There it is. Oh, strange.
Oh!
The car veered to the right, out of nowhere.
Was it?
He had to stomp on the brakes. He had to stomp on the brakes.
Oh, he did.
He came in too hot. That is suspension damage. Hopefully he still has a fast repair available, because I mean, after what happened to Garcia, you know, I am starting to doubt even my own existence at this point, because there is no way that one of those two wrecks didn't involve the use of a fast repair, but there is Happy as a bunny rabbit, you know, still on the racetrack. So what do I know? But yeah. So under caution.
Tough break for.
Yeah. So I mean. And you know, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about braking for pit road. You know, you have to be super sensible with these brakes when you use them, even at that low speed, because he wasn't going, you know, at race speed. Of course, he was going at pace speed, and still stomping on the brakes a little bit too hard than necessary caused him to lock and hit the wall. So imagine this, but doing 180 something miles per hour coming out of 4, entering the pits.
Yeah, such a challenging pit row, especially at speed like that. And it's a really tough break for Conway, because he had started tailing Charlie in the field and worked his way up. So,
by the way, if you're wondering about our time limit, it's not displaying. So ignore that.
There is no time limit. We will be here all night, wherever you are.
So you also have the best time, you can see right now. of the race, and I think that among the top drivers is Snyder, the guy on a big comeback. He's got 40.96. Of course, these times are to be taken with a pinch of salt because of the draft, etc. Like Rondoletto spent a lot of time at the front of the pack with no draft. So, you know, but yeah, and there is an option here to ask if you want to show the time. But you know, it's not showing probably because it still thinks we are going to make it. And if it's a 4-hour time limit, we are absolutely in. You know, we have plenty of time to make it. But the beautiful news is lights are out on the new iRacing safety vehicle. Therefore, we're about to go green. Man, those NASCAR 2003 cautions were something else.
Painful.
Yeah.
Torturous is the way to describe them. But
I mean, I was one of the crazy people that used to race with full course cautions also on the road courses. So can you imagine the joy of pacing at the Glen, you know?
Elkhart Lake. As we get ready for the green to drop, Rondoletto is gonna take off, and he does. Rondoletto's getting really great jumps on these restarts. DeGroot in second. Nakabayashi is behind him. He's gonna tuck into third. And Rondoletto just really pulls away. Watching a battle here with Vargas. As we drop back to, here's Jimenez currently running in 15th.
Again, it is Zalenka who now was one of the caution cars a couple of cautions ago. No harm, no foul in his case, still on the lead lap. Still enjoying life down in P16. We have a few cars out of the race, but not a lot of them considered you know, the absolutely massive wreck we had at the start.
Absolutely. As Zelenka is now battling Silva. Silva is going to make the pass. He does. As Silva jumps up into 15th spot. Then we got a battle here of Zelenka, Scott, and Conway, it looks like. These guys have been going at it. And Scott's going to get past Zelenka. Oh, here we go. Back up at the front. Side by side. Rondoletto and DeGroot. Rondoletto low. On the front stretch, here they are, neck and neck. Rondoletto with the edge as they cross the line, going into one. And they're going to stay that way. 1 and 2, Rondoletto going a little lower, DeGroot running a higher line. Across the turns, and they kind of almost meet as they come out of the corner.
Yeah, and you know, the moment I switched the cameras, I don't know if you noticed that, but the Groot was pulling the Doc Brown special on Rondoletto, disappearing as they were side by side and then reappearing a couple of 100 meters later, which is always a scary proposition in any race, but especially on the ovals.
The net code giveth, the net code taketh away.
Oh yeah.
As the Groot with a run down the front stretch, he's actually gets a little ahead, and Rondoletto is going to lead going into one. Oh. Groot really hugging the wall coming out of that turn. And Nakabayashi looks like he wants to join, hoping maybe in a minute or two. As we go side by side, riding on with Rondoletto in the green Yukos livery, now on with the Groot as he runs the higher line going into 3. And Rondoletto will get in front. Just such great racing between these two. Great onboard shot here with the Groot as they go side by side across the stripe. Rondoletto really dropping low in attempt to try to break the draft. And it looks like Nakabayashi's going to join in the fun here. He's starting to get involved in this.
Yeah. That's a green gap. The dashboard.
Nakabayashi he's really starting to make moves as these two are going side by side. And who's Nakabayashi going to follow? Is he going to jump in behind DeGroat? Is he going to jump behind Rondoletto? Let's see what happens here. Looks like he's running lower lines like Rondoletto is.
But you need to be so alert when you are behind two drivers that are battling this hard. And I see a couple of lap cars there at the front. We haven't really had lap traffic, but with more and more wounded cars we have running around, I think that sooner or later we are going to have some lap traffic to contend with.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see who navigates lap traffic better in this case and how they manage it. As we watch these two just going at it side by side pretty much most of this race, Nick DeGroat and Octavio Rondoletto. Impressive running from these two.
DeGroat had to hit the brakes there because they almost made contact.
And that gives Nakabayashi a run. Let's see what he can do with it. He's going to drop low. It's interesting because DeGroat runs a higher line than the other two, so neither of them can really tuck in the corner behind him. So Nakabayashi really has to work hard on the straight to get a good run. As we watch these, now it's become a three-car battle almost. Rondoletto still in the lead. Ran a 41.8 last time around. Nope, sorry, check that. That was a 41.65 last time. Oh, trouble! John Silva in the wall.
And
that's going to bring out the
what happened to
caution.
Rondoletto?
Oh no!
Rondoletto has disappeared.
He is dropping down our timing chart.
Let's push. Oh, he's back.
Now he's back up into second. Okay.
Now he's pulling the Doc Brown special. And was he in the lead when the caution came out? Yes, he was. So he's back in first place.
He's gonna be back in first.
So sure, the iRacing officials took their sweet time to call the yellow here, which was
Oh no!
Oh, two cars in the wall.
That was Zelenka as well.
Yes, it was. And maybe other cars were involved because I heard some ominous noises as I was watching. Oh. They managed to tell the tale, but that was a scary moment for everyone involved. Let's see from the onboard of John Silva. Contact. Smacks the wall.
And how did Zelenka? And did Zelenka just fall? Just kind of got sucked in, just fall? Because I don't think he made contact with anyone.
Yeah, it was. I saw him hit the wall on his own.
Let's see. He just kind of crashed on his own.
It's the next lap, right?
Nah.
Everybody's in, by the way, and this is already, of course, after the wreck. So maybe let's try this.
We want.
No, this is.
Yeah, I think he just kind of was watching and. Which
yeah.
Oh, he checked up and hit the wall. Oh.
And everybody avoiding action. Making, So, everyone is in the pits, including the leaders, but Robert Zelenka has stayed, he pitted, of course.
Yes.
But he pitted under closed pits, so he will be sent all the way to the back. So he's not really in fourth. Rondoletto is in fourth. Now it's interesting to see what these drivers will do. Conaway, Van den Belt, of course, these two drivers, remember, they had an issue. So they are slightly off sequence, and also.
Yes.
Not that off sequence, but certainly they, couple of laps off sequence. So maybe they are trying something, or as it's usually in a racing, drivers who stay out. It means that they take one extra lap to think about it, and then they
Yeah.
come into the pits. So we'll see. Let's be on board with the last car in the line, which is of these three, let's say, alternative drivers, and see what they do if Conaway, Van den Belt, and Marchiano will decide to enter pit road.
Yeah, looking at the timing, last time they pitted about 10 laps ago. So maybe they decided to stay out for the track position aspect. Up.
Okay, so
Bell jumps in.
Just be
Oh,
careful.
no.
No. Okay, so they are staying out.
Vanderbilt.
Interesting.
Vanderbilt thought about it.
As you can see, we have a couple of lapped cars in the pack, and of course this is IndyCar, therefore they will stay right where they are. So another thing to contend with. They will be sent to the back only in the last 10 laps of the race if we do happen to have a restart with 10 or less laps to go. So there are of course no lucky dogs. There are wave arounds, but no lucky dogs. But there will be no wave around, of course, because these three drivers stayed out, and so the car there at the back, which is the... I see a 9, but I don't see a car with a 9 on the... We'll find him.
Interesting.
We will find him, don't worry.
He will
There
show
it
up.
is. It's Bly Mena, number 93. It's not
There
him.
he is.
No, it's not him. It's Kevin Adam. And Kevin, I'm sure...
They're wearing the same livery, so...
Yeah. And yes, he's one lap down, as you can see on the left side of your screen when we arrive to position 25. Oh, I'm still showing the fastest lap of the race. My deepest apologies. This is better with the gaps, and you will see that Adam is one lap down. There he is, together with Suvire, Mena, and Cardoso, and Moore is 2 laps down. So all these drivers, of course, they won't get wave around if there are lead lap cars between themselves and the pace car. So these 3 drivers are more than on the lead lap. They are leading the race. They're 1, 2, and 3 with an alternate call, which is very smart considering the point of the race where we are. Nothing to lose with 10 laps left because everyone has to stop again. And so we go back to green flag racing.
And Greg Conway's going to lead us off. We saw Conway maybe about 15 laps ago in the wall, and he's now in the lead of this race. So Greg Conway's going to take the flag. Twan Van de Belde is running in second, and Marchiano is running third. And Conway and Van de Belde have really jumped out. So we now look at Rondeletto. And we have the caution.
Michael
That's
Chin
Michael
slowly,
Chin.
But I don't think he's the only one involved. I saw a few names drop. No, he's the only one involved. My apologies once again. Backs into the wall. And caution is out. So now, of course, this is not what the 3 leaders wanted. To have their alternative strategy work. They at least wanted, a little bit of a green flag run. So then the next caution, everyone would have stopped together with them. But now I think they will be staying out for a bit. We have a quick message from our friends at Apex Racing Academy, and then we will be back for more live from Indianapolis.
Thank you for joining us here on the 2021 Sim Racers from Mental Health Indy 500. Jonathan Grabowski here, joined by the fantastic Marco Barbanera. And as you know, this race is being sponsored by Sim Racers from Mental Health. So You see that link on the screen, please push that donation link. So what it means is your gift can bring hope to 1 in 5 Americans living with a mental health condition. Together we are fighting smarter, better, and harder than we ever have before. Without your help or a century of service to those in need would not have been possible. So thank you for your support. And what a great cause, great race. You know, I love the Indy 500. Memorial Day weekend is one of my favorite weekends. It's a great racing weekend, as we know. You know, some years we have Monaco, we have Indy, we have, and then we have the Coke 600 at night where I live on the East Coast of the United States. And then we get maybe a couple other races thrown in. I know one year Nürburgring 24 was on as well. So it's a great racing weekend. It's also the unofficial kickoff for summer here. And where I live, living in a beach community, it's when you begin to see all the out-of-state license flights show up and take over the roads. So one of my favorite weekends from a racing perspective, and also the unofficial kickoff of summer, as we are under our 6th caution with Greg Conway currently in the lead of this race. Looking at 4th and 5th, Octavio Rondelot and Nick de Groot have been the story so far. They've been the 2 dominant cars throughout this race.
Yes, and a bit of lap traffic that was in front of Rondoletto has moved away as the Groot is riding on the apron, maybe just because out of boredom, usually. I don't think he's going to pit right now. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. And in fact, he stays out, so yeah, I was, going back to what you were saying, I was a bit disappointed when they announced that, the Monaco Grand Prix is my least favorite part of Memorial Day, which we don't have here, of course, in Europe.
Right.
But, as an international fan of all things sports, I call it the Memorial Day weekend as well. And I was a bit disappointed that, the 3 races, Monaco, Indianapolis, and Charlotte. Of course, the Charlotte race usually ends at, ungodly hours here, but always nice.
It's even late for me, and I live in the same time zone as when the race starts. So
it's the positive thing is that if you you can watch the race, and if you accidentally fall asleep, you can finish it on Monday. Even though it's not a bank holiday here, it's not a holiday, but it's still, at the very least, it's something you can fall asleep to. But it's always very exciting. So yeah, no Monaco this year, which means that you guys will be able to sleep a bit longer tomorrow.
Yeah, it's because that's generally how it works for you. You get up on Sunday, you watch Monaco, and then you have maybe a couple hour break to eat breakfast, mow the lawn, who knows, do whatever, and get Indy, and then you have a little bit of a break. And while you're barbecuing on your back deck, you can throw on what's now the Coke 600. So definitely a fun racing day if you are a race fan. If you're not a racing fan, or you're married to one or live with one, you're in trouble.
Yes, absolutely. We are about to go
and
back
then,
to Grim. Yeah.
All right, go ahead as we get ready.
Yes, we are.
As Greg Conway is going to take us to the green. And we're underway. Conway with the jump. Vanderbilt in 2nd. Marciano in 3rd. Rondoletto 4th. And de Groot 5th. And Rondoletto is now going to jump into 3rd place. De Groot's going to say, I'm going to come and join you as well, as he's on the inside and he will make the pass. He does. So our top 2 guys who have just been dominant race so far are starting to make moves. And here comes Nakabayashi. As we watch that's Rondoletto on the outside of Vanderbilt. He can't make the pass work. Vanderbilt, Rondoletto now using the higher line. He's being forced to use the higher line. He's been running lower most of the race. And here we are side by side as we cross the front straight. Rondoletto's going to keep it high, tuck back in. Coming out of 2. Let's see if he gets a run on the backstretch. Riding on board with Rondoletto. Getting closer and making a run as we get into 3. No, won't be close enough. And he'll have DeGroat right behind him. It's still early in this race. We're not at the halfway point, so no need to rush to make a move.
Yeah, it seems like they are not working as well in traffic as his drivers were expecting. You know, these leaders haven't really been in traffic that much tonight, no? So they are not able to make the moves. As we have Snyder.
No, as we...
Yeah, a lot of argy-bargy here in the middle of the top 10.
Yeah, as we watch a battle here, as we saw that battle going on. As we watch Macchiano. Now taking a look at Jenkins. This battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th about. On board with Jeffrey running in 11th. Eric Jeffrey looking out at the back end of Daniel Rossi's car. Looks like we're starting to get kind of a little bit of 2 different groups. We have that battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and that battle of the maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th.
That track temperature is basically you can cook a steak on it.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very warm track. You can steak, eggs, whatever your product of choice is. As you look at Snyder, Snyder has been the big mover so far, up 25 spots from where he started. I don't know how he pulled that off. As we watch Vanderbilt currently running in 2nd, he's pulled away a little bit from Rondoletto. Rondoletto was really charging at the start, at the beginning of this green flag run. Vanderbilt about 0.3 of a second behind Conway, who was leading this race. As we're 75 laps into this sim races for mental health Indy 500.
And you know, speaking about Snyder, sometimes you see this in league races, no? Oh, we have a massive wreck!
Oh!
And
they're still wrecking.
Gerardo Subir, one of the drivers involved, that was a massive wreck.
Oh, and he's still wrecking.
And again, Rondoletto has disappeared.
He's now down in 17th. I don't know what happened, but hopefully he'll be back. Let's take a look at the replay here.
This is on board with the Forsyth, hits the wall.
Oh, hit the wall. Comes back. Oh!
It was not the only... someone went into the wall at, I think, 200 miles an hour there. Let's see who he was. So it was not...
Oh, they both hit the wall!
And look behind them. Like, it was like some oil on the track. I don't know what happened. I mean, of course, there is no oil on the track, but I think it was Michael Sheen who had a massive impact. But no, it wasn't Sheen. What was that?
No, it's Shin. There's Cardozo. Oh!
So, look behind Forsyth and Vasquez. Look behind them. There is a third car that you will see.
Oh!
Look
what the hit?
That
yeah, there's that black and white car.
Which I have no idea who that was.
They took... Oh!
And then it was...
Here comes the 8.
Apologies for the clicking all over the place. I'm trying to find out who that was.
We're trying to find this because this was an unbelievable wreck on the front stretch here.
Oh, it was Brown, maybe. Let's see.
Aaron, yeah, that's Aaron Brown. Let's see if we can get his replay. Oh!
Say from a bit earlier than that. Maybe. Wow, that was a huge shot. Like all 3 of them went off at the same time. In the same way.
Brown. It's like formation crashing.
Yeah.
Here it comes onto the straight.
It's the other lap. He told me.
Ooh. Wow, that was...
Okay, this is the good one. If it's not... it's not... we saw the back end of it, but I have major breaking news. Because Rondoletto
Yes.
is, yes, back, but he is in P17.
Yeah, what's he doing in...
So I think he got disconnected or something.
Yeah, because he hasn't been in the pits.
Ah, okay, that's... Okay, no, he's having big connection trouble.
Oh, he gets ahead of the pace car here, and
I mean, he was off for the... I mean, he came back midway to the replays we were showing. So there he is.
yeah, he's at now.
This is at the start, of course, but when you see the yellow flag wave...
Well, looking at our SDK wonderful live timing, he is currently in first.
Okay, so once again,
Currently...
okay, so I tell you what happened then. He had this connection issue. He wasn't kicked, but he stopped the car or went very, very slowly. So either the sim gave him his position back, or I don't know what, because I saw him clearly lose a full lap, because we saw in the replay he was getting past the pace car, you know, when we were watching. So
yeah,
mystery.
it was really interesting. Really,
we have the mystery of the oil spill in turn 4 that took out half the grid. And now we have the mystery of what happened to Rondoletto, because that was a massive crash and we are getting ready to restart. We still have a little bit of the lap to go, so we will show you a couple of extra angles, maybe.
We've got Forsyth on board with him here. Just hits the wall. Boom. And
then the carnage.
Oh.
Ouch.
Ouch. You know, remember when we talked about maybe 45 minutes ago about how it seems that the race control had put the caution flag away? Well, they hadn't, and then they're starting to use it a bit. They're making up for lost time.
Yeah, I mean, this was a bit like a Stonewall caution, but yeah, I mean, we're back live, by the way, and back to green flag racing.
And Rondoletto is now in the lead, and he'll get the jump, and he'll go into one with DeGroot in second, Snyder third, Nakabayashi fourth, and Jenkins in fifth. These two are back where they have been for most of this race. DeGroot with a great run down the backstretch. DeGroot goes high, and they're going to go side by side out of 3. DeGroot tucks back in as they enter 4, and we'll see what happens as they come down the front stretch. Tavio Rondoletto and Nick DeGroot. Wrote high, and will he make the pass? No, he won't. Onto the short chute going into 2, and he gets a great run. He's going to tuck in behind Rondoletto. Rondoletto goes low, trying to break a draft, and they're going to be side by side down the backstretch. It's like Snyder and Nakabayashi aren't too far behind. They could get involved pretty quickly if these two remain side by side.
Yeah, they seem to be absolutely hell-bent on fighting each other until the end of the race. So we are on lap 81. Now it will start up lap 82. Look at Snyder. Before the caution came out, I was saying, Snyder, usually you see this in league racing, where, there are some drivers that don't like to qualify and then have the big plus at the end of the race. But you cannot do that here because there were more than 33 cars, so you had to qualify, and if you are out of the top 33, you don't race. So probably a very bad qualifying or some magic in race setup for him. Well, I have no idea which one it is, but certainly plus 27, biggest mover of the race by far is Isaac Snyder.
Absolutely, Isaac Snyder currently running in 30, but he's got Nabakayashi right behind him. And speaking of right behind him, Nick DeGroat is right behind Rondoletto, and he's going to try to take the lead going into 1. Rondoletto down low, DeGroat up high. These two have been running like this pretty much all race long. But they're not being overly aggressive. They're taking chances when they can, but no one's done anything where you said, gee, that's not probably the best job right there. These two have been kept it, have raced hard, but also really fair about it.
Thankfully for us, they're not working together, because if these two started doing swap drafting, considering that the entirety of the field is battling right now, they could really go into another zip code by the next pit cycle.
As we watch a battle for third happening on Nakabayashi, Jenkins, looks like Snyder, Nakabayashi, and Jenkins, they're starting to get into a third, fourth place battle right now as we ride on board with Paul Jenkins, who was almost challenging Rondoletto and DeGroat a little bit at the beginning of the race. He's kind of tucked back into 5th, and he's been battling with the two guys in front of him for the past, 30, 40 laps or so. Everybody running single file down the front straight. Looking here, we got a battle. Looks like Zelensky, Vargas, and Conway. So guys who have been in trouble that have been able to climb back up and get in contention here. As we look down the back stretch, DeGroat, Rondoletto side by side. DeGroat in the yellow 89, Rondoletto in the white and green 32.
Still fighting, and now Snyder has got rid of Nakabayashi, so he's now officially in this party. I mean, he was never out of it, but now he's got almost half a second over 4th place, and he can fully focus on fighting the two guys in front until they all slow down. And Nakabayashi Jenkins also was doing nice at the beginning of the race, as we have a car off coming out of 4.
That's Aaron Brown, who had trouble a little while ago.
He was the guy who had the big hit with the wall. I mean, one of the 3 big hits, but probably the biggest hit in the wall in the previous yellow.
Like he had
another big hit. I mean, because
the
car
is,
is,
talking about big hits. Ooh, got into it with someone else. Was that Cardozo? I think.
By the way, all of a sudden Nakabayashi has got past Snyder when we were watching the replay, so I mean, it's ebbing and flowing at the front, especially for 3rd and 4th. Like, Nakabayashi was half a second back when we went to replay, and after one replay, back to 3rd place. And now it's Snyder the one who's losing a bit of contact with the leaders. Nothing major, but it shows how quickly things can change around here.
Yeah, and the battle that Rondoletto and DeGroat are having are allowing, Nakabayashi and Snyder to kind of creep up behind them. We watch them go into turn 1 side by side. DeGroat and Rondoletto, these guys have just been going at it all race long. 88 laps into this 200 lap race. As Rondoletto drops really low, trying to break the draft. Down the backstretch they go. Rondoletto at the inside, and he'll get it. Nakabayashi is going to tuck in behind DeGroat. it seems like everybody can kind of get to the back of these guys, but they can't really join in the fun, it seems like.
Yeah. They have to be creative.
Actually, Nakabayashi might be the closest that's so far that's been to try to join these guys as we ride on board with him, exiting turn 2 and heading on to the back straight. Let's see if he can tuck in behind DeGroat. DeGroat's tucked in behind Rondoletto. Nakabayashi's going to follow DeGroat into 3. Backs off a little bit, down the short chute into 4. Side by side, these two in front of him.
DeGroat had a little bit of a moment there, but he was able to keep the car under control. But I'm afraid, one of these laps, the car on the outside is going to have, no grip because the tires will be destroyed. The track is getting hotter and hotter. We are only at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 2:30, so it's not ideal. And it's going to be, maybe we have a bad surprise with one of the leaders finding himself in defense.
Absolutely. Looking at pit times, last time these guys pitted was on lap 64, so they are pretty far into their tire stint so far. As Rondoletto, can he make the pass? He will. DeGroat is not going anywhere. He's going to hang around on the outside as we cross the finish line into 1. DeGroat high, drops lower as he kind of tucks it into the short chute behind Octavio Rondoletto. Interesting that time by DeGroat went lower in the line. He's usually been running a higher line compared to Rondoletto.
Yeah, he's listen, he needs to get out of the throttle when he's after all these laps on this. Yes, granted we have had a lot of cautions, but still these tires are anything but fresh at this point in the race, in the stint. So he takes the outside line. He really needs to lift. There is not less grip there, and even if you are outside of the other car that precedes you, you still do the majority of the straight and the corner entry in his draft, and so in his third year as well, which makes it even tougher. So there is nothing worse than to have to feel like the understeer really kick in one of these cars, especially again here in Indianapolis. I said earlier, turn 2 especially, but we've seen turn 4 tonight has been the trouble spot with hitting the outside wall and then bouncing on the pit wall. So dancing on the front stretch once again, up and down, up and down. Here comes Nakabayashi for second.
Nakabayashi looking to make a run into 1, and he'll go low, but he doesn't seem to have the momentum that these two have, in the turn. It seems like he kind of backs off quite a bit more than the other do. As everyone's starting to go single file now, we'll spread out a little bit as we look at Anthony Garcia. And he'll have Daniel Rossi in front of him. Rossi's also been a big climber. He's up 16 spots from where he started this race.
There is a bit of a gap between, Garcia, not only he survived 2 massive wrecks with only 1 fast repair, but he's also running in 8th. And he's like the last of the lead group because there is a bit of a gap between himself and Zelenka. So, I want to, of course, know who built this car because it seems very, very sturdy. His pit crew must be fantastic, and he's a very, very good driver.
Very bomb-proof Dallara. So,
one of the few things that I'm proud to say that comes from Italy. Not a lot of good things are made in Italy. Most of them don't work.
Are you kidding me?
But Dallara, race cars, especially Dallaras, are like, I'm very proud that my favorite open wheel series in the world has got Italian cars.
I mean, they make some of the best racing cars on the planet. Look at other series that have Dallara in them. Prototypes, Formula cars, Indy cars. If Roman Grosjean can race a Dallara and not destroy it or destroy everyone else, as we've seen destructive he's been in F1, now in IndyCar, a Dallara is a strong race car.
Dallara is so respected in Italy among race fans that, and especially his safety record of his cars, the that sometimes in Italy is referred to as San Dallara, Saint Dallara, basically. And even in the Grosjean crash, that the ass is made by Dallara. So
yeah, that's true. That is a very true point. As we watch these two, Rondelletto's looks like he's gotten a little out to the point where De Groot can't make the runs that he's been making off of the back straight. So we'll see what happens here. It looks like Nakabayashi has dropped back from them, so we're almost getting to the point where we're going to almost have a two-car battle again. It just seems like Snyder, Jenkins, Nakabayashi, people can get to the back of them, but they can't get to them.
Also looking, it's getting pretty lonely out there. We have 20 cars on the racetrack. Craig Forsyth being the last of the running cars in 20th. But even better than showing Forsyth, I can show you a track map. As you can see, 20 cars.
As we look at our wonderful SDK graphics and with our track map, as we can see who's out there and running, everybody's pretty much on the same straight for the most part. As we're almost at the halfway point of the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 here on Apex Racing TV. And folks, just remember, if you like what you see here, Apex Racing TV is on all the time. So if you like it, subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon and you'll be notified when we go live. Like videos, comment on videos. We offer lots of racing here. If you're a Twitch user, check it out on twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV. And if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all usernames are Apex Racing TV, one word. So, and one thing we'll talk about later on when we wrap up is we have a whole big schedule here on Apex Racing TV, from prototypes, which we're on today. We have Formula 3. We have, Spec Racer Ford. So a whole boatload of racing you can find here on Apex Racing TV.
Have you noticed that twice we had green flag stops and twice Rondelletto stopped before everyone else in the lead pack?
Yeah, I was just to say, Rondelletto has now entered the pits as I was reading that advert. And that puts Nick de Groot into the lead.
I don't know if he's a bit less. I mean, he spent a lot of time at the front, therefore, less fuel saving. But, interesting that both times we had green flag stops, he was the first one of the leaders to stop. Now, where is he right now? He's coming out. He's out of the pits. He's in P18, so he's still in front of Blaimena and Craig Forsyth. And now we expect, any time the growth come in. There he comes.
And on cue, Nick de Groot and Isaac Snyder drop in. Garcia comes in as well, and Robert Zelenka is in. So, a bunch of our top 10 have entered the pits. Looks like Rondelletto was the first to go, then a lap or two later, everyone else decided to join him. That puts Nakabayashi currently in the lead with Jenkins in second. So you watch the Groot enter.
Let's see.
He'll get 4 tires and fuel. And here comes Rondelletto. He's on the front straight. And de Groot's going to exit. Let's see, will he get to them? Looking at the back end, you see Snyder. Looks like Rondelletto's there as well. Here comes Rondelletto. De Groot has now exited the pits. He is not up to speed yet. Going into 3, he is...
Stays in front, okay? Thought he was going to pass him, but he was able to get up to speed quickly. Rondelletto had a slightly slower stop, but overall nothing major, as now is Nakabayashi making its way into the pits, the last of the front runners. So So let's see where everyone else will slot. And now we have, of course, a lot of drivers who are still out. So it's Enger, Vargas, Conaway, Vandenbeld, Adam, Games, and of course we have Marquijano, Eric Jeffrey, Robert Smith, Caden Thura in 11th place, and then Nick de Groot is the first of the cars that are on, that have done another regularly scheduled stop.
Yeah, Rondoletto was the first to jump in, then everyone else decided to come in after him.
Disaster for Nakabayashi. He's got a penalty.
No. Oh no.
He's still sitting in the pits, 25 seconds and counting. Usually the stop is 10 seconds.
Oh dear. We look at the battle on screen. Looks like Rondoletto's trying to find a way around de Groot right now. And he does, going into 3. Tavio Rondoletto gets past Nick de Groot. In many ways, this is almost your virtual battle for the lead.
Oh, Nakabayashi might lose a lap. This could be a disaster.
Looks like he will. Let's see, will he? Ooh, it's going to be close. Tough break for the guy who was really close to taking on these two. As we look into 3.
He needs a caution. I mean, and he needs it now. And he will make his Dallara as wide as possible, not to let the leaders by, which again is a perfectly legitimate tactic. So I know that many of my European friends will, recoil in disgust, but I am absolutely for it. It's so important to stay on the lead lap. Don't be stupid.
And it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, just need to be stupid.
There's nothing wrong with him. He's on the lead lap. And it's nothing wrong with him running a wider line or making his car as big as possible. If he was 2 laps down, I'd say we have an issue. But he needs to stay on the lead lap. He's one of him and him and Snyder have been the 2 guys that we've watched already, saying, hey, maybe they can challenge, our lead group of de Groot and Rondoletto.
And thankfully for him, I mean, he has a lot of pace, so it's not going to be. I mean, it's not easy, but not going to be impossible for him to stay in front of the leaders. So again, it shows that I was, my sim racing infancy was with the NASCAR racing titles back when we didn't have the lucky dog. So staying in front of the leaders was key to survival.
Absolutely.
And of course, racing back to the line. Yes.
Yes. Which then NASCAR realized was ultra dangerous, so they decided to. That's when they instituted the lucky dog rule. But it's all about the show in NASCAR, as we all know. As we look at our battle here of Kabayashi currently running in 19th, trying to stay on the lead lap. Looking at the field, Greg Conway is currently leading the race. Antoine Vanderbilt currently in 2nd. James is in 3rd. Marquijano is in 4th. And Eric Jeffrey is currently sitting in 5th. As we look at Greg Conway, he's putting a move on Robert Zelenka to lap him. Last time Conway pitted was lap 77, so let's keep an eye to see when he comes in. Looks like our top 5 all up and on cue.
Yeah, top 6 solo stopped on lap 77, and then Caden Tura is in 7th. He stopped on lap 78. So these are the drivers. Remember, we're a bit of strategy in the previous yellow. They stayed out 2 yellows ago. Sorry. Then we had an intermediate yellow, and then we had this restart. So let's keep an eye on them. Especially because if they play their cars right, they might even shave off a pit stop at the end, which, as you know, is not uncommon to have the Indy 500 decided on an economy run.
As we saw a couple of years ago with Alexander Rossi, basically coasting as much as he could to an Indy 500 win.
I might be a bit strange, but I love fuel management races, which is not the drive to a delta races that we have in F1. I mean, let's arrive at the finish line with 0.001 gallons of fuel and win the race. That Indy 500 was so exciting, but also, and what my biggest gripe with stage racing in NASCAR is that it has removed this element, unless you have a crazy combination of circumstances.
Absolutely, yeah. What Rossi did several years ago was so impressive, and I think what Brian Herter was the strategist, and what a great call by him, and just kind of talking him through of basically saving as much fuel as possible. It was so impressive because you're thinking this guy's going to run out at any moment, and it seemed like Rossi felt like he was going to run out at any moment as well. So that's the type of fuel type strategy saving which is really impressive in motorsports. As we watch, DeGroat has gotten by Rondoletto.
Yeah.
And
Marchiano, Smith, Ture, all in the pits. In the meantime, yes, DeGroat still in front, and they put a lap on Nakabayashi now.
Yeah. Okay, Nakabayashi is now a lap down as Nick DeGroat has now put a lap on him. And Nakabayashi is going to say, hey, you know what? I want it back.
And he takes it back.
I don't think DeGroat's going to fight him that hard. Especially now. He's pulled out a little bit on Rondoletto. As we look at a battle here with Jamez and Jeffrey. Jamez running first, Jeffrey running second. These are our leaders, but they will be coming in for pit stops probably rather shortly.
Oh yeah, wow, right on cue. And people say we are not good commentators.
I don't know who says that. I don't know. But me, yeah, I understand that. But but about you, Marco, I don't understand how you can commentate in two different languages. I can barely commentate in my native English. So.
Yes, but the problem that I have is, with maths. We have a very hard, tough relationship. So when it's time to make strategy calculations, it's usually a disaster. As DeGroat went past Nakabayashi again.
Well, math was never my strong suit either, so that makes two of us. So as we watch DeGroat take the lead of this race, 113 laps into the sim races for Mental Health Indy 500 here on Apex Racing TV. Looking at the chat on the YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. But also, as you can see on the screen right now, Marco has put up that fantastic link for Sim Racers for Mental Health. So your gift means we can bring hope to 1 in 5 Americans living with a mental health condition. Together, we are fighting smarter, better, and harder than we ever have before. Without your help, over a century of service to those in need would have not been possible. So thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting this race, and thank you for joining us wherever you are. We are having a real blast here tonight or morning, wherever you are.
By the way, if you, because getting a link off of a screen sometimes is not very easy, we also put the link, stick it on top of the YouTube chat, and I think is also in the description. Yes, it is, of the video, so you have no excuse of missing out on the link, and of course we will show it again several times during the broadcast. So, dare I say it, after a very, very chaotic second quarter of the race, this third quarter looks like we're playing basketball. Seems like it's going on much, it is much smoother.
Everyone's appeared to settle down.
Yeah.
We went through that cautions breed caution stage, and now we've gotten to the point where everyone's settled down in the race, where DeGroat's pulled out a little bit of a lead over Rondoletto, which for a little over half a second really is almost like he's like miles away, the way these two have been racing. We ride on board with Jamez, currently sitting in 10th, and he's going to make a pass the outside on Vandervelde. Vandervelde's going to hold the inside. Let's see, there they go, side by side onto the short chute. And And James is gonna make the pass to put himself into 9th place, and he drops really low. Wow.
The
He's gonna
big
take a
factor,
ride on the grass.
I think that, of course, now there is a car a very quick car between De Groot and Rondoletto in the form of Nakabayashi, sorry. So it is, you know, now it's Rondoletto who's getting double dirty air basically. Which these two drivers, De Groot and Rondoletto, have never been lower than second after we started, no? So they have never had to be. We saw that the guy in third usually was able to get close, but not super close to the two leaders now. And now we have basically the guy in second is virtually in third. So that's going to be an extra layer of. But now Rondoletto can use this, of course. On the other hand, can use this to maybe have a longer stint, because again he has been stopping earlier than anyone else in the lead, in the front pack. Oh, we have a massive smoke there in pit road. I think
someone's having issues.
Someone's there, but we have no idea who that was, because I see no one in the pits right now.
That was interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it was a smoke bomb, like they do in soccer. You know?
It was a party from the infield snake pit. It seems
yes. Like. Oh, look at that!
There is smoke.
Oh God!
Oh.
What is this? At the front straight is basically, massive smoke.
Wow! What? Someone? Oh my! Someone's motor is.
We must have a car in the pits that has broken engine. Oh, I think I found him. It's Cardozo.
Yep, that looks like Cardozo.
It was the car
Miguel
that crashed
Angel
earlier.
Cardozo.
Remember we had a crash between Cardozo and the other car and Brown a few laps ago when they were. That we didn't have a caution for that. Apparently, he's been sitting in the pits so long. Oh man.
Tough luck, especially for these drivers trying to drive through that. It's not as bad from the in-car angle. It looks a lot worse from that timing tower camera.
Yeah.
As we ride on board with James and Vandervelde as they are battling for 9th and 10th on the track. James up 7 spots from where he started in the race. As we look at Meta, and he enters the pits.
You can see the...
Still, with that car still smoking.
So still Rondoletto now. There are...
Wow, he's got two cars between them now.
Yeah, they put another car 1 lap down. I think it's Cadian Tour, yes?
Mm-hmm.
We have 15 cars on the lead lap. The next car in line is Robert Smith, who's on the front stretch right now. The good thing is that at some point the engine will give up and, will stop smoking. But for the time being, we are stuck with what we have. Which is basically the weather that you get in northern Italy every morning, all year long, fog.
Man, so as we look at Smith and Zelenka, as they battle for 14th and 15th on the track. We haven't called Smith's name a lot tonight. Zelenka has been involved in a few incidents on track. But credit to Smith, he's up 22 spots from where he started this race. He's been in some real... We haven't called his name a lot, but I've seen him kind of in the view of a few potential incidents and whatnot. But to be able to make up 22 spots in the race, big shout out to him running that very nice PPG livery.
And he probably is not an oval racer because he has a very, very low oval rating. Like even lower than my road rating, barely lower than my road rating. And he's giving a fantastic account of himself, still on the lead lap with less than half of the race to go. And he's, fighting with other drivers for
Yeah,
position.
real.
I have 400. I just realized that for some reason I probably crashed in a race a couple of days ago that I didn't even remember doing. That now my road rating is a perfectly round 400, and I don't think I'll touch it for the remainder of the summer because it's impossible to race here in the summer, even with air conditioning on. At a car stage, I think is more pleasant than doing a race in iRacing. So my aim is to stay with 400 rating for the entirety of the summer.
See, yeah, we get the heat here in the northeast on the coast, and we also get the humidity. That's what really sucks us up here, especially when we get in July and August. So as we ride on board with Daniel Rossi, currently running in 16th, another one of our high climbers, up 17 spots from where he started the race, and he's kept his car pretty clean. So good credit to Rossi. But also looking at this field, looking at the I rating of some of the drivers. Nick DeGroat is at 58.54. Rondeau's at 54.50. Then you jump down to Snyder. So Isaac Snyder, who's been our hard charger, currently in third, up 27 spots. He's a 20.24. So he's racing against. He's taking on guys that are over double his I rating. So credit him for charging up the field and taking on guys who have a higher I rating than him.
Absolutely easier said than done, especially in a tough race like this, where you need to keep the concentration high. As Anthony Garcia, we were looking at Daniel Rossi, but in reality, I didn't notice that behind him we had Anthony Garcia. He's 7th.
His bulletproof.
A bulletproof car, which I think his livery is based on a Ferrari, so it should be like the listing.
It is.
I cannot think of anything less bulletproof than a Ferrari lately.
Yeah, it is very Ferrari-esque, especially on the side pods, and with the Mission Winnow sticker on the back. And as you said, the Ferrari has not been the most bulletproof car in Formula One. Fantastic drivers, but it's almost like they're heading back to the bad old days.
Long may it last.
As we watch Nick DeGroat, as he's really pulled away from Rondeau, he is a second ahead. And Rondeau better pick it up because Snyder is a little over a second behind. So if he wants to catch DeGroat with the time remaining, he really has to start stepping up, especially with two cars in between them. As we ride on board with Octavio Rondeletto.
So he went through the pain of filling out his details on the SDK Gaming app, so massive props.
And that's a good time to remind people of SDK Gaming. So sdk-gaming.co.uk as we get a caution. Oh, Vanderbilt's in trouble. Oh dear. And someone else.
And someone else.
That was...
Ooh, in front of him.
Ooh. Oh, that's the 40. The 48 was involved. That's... Is that Rossi?
Yes, 48 is Rossi, so we'll see what happens.
I thought I saw the 48 in that.
48 is good. It's Games. Ooh, and
sorry,
also,
my bad.
Also, I think Conaway was involved in that.
Yeah, trouble all around.
Conaway spun in front of him.
Oh.
And then look. Look, Van den Belde avoids the wreck, spins.
Oh no!
And collides, I think, with Games. I think the
tough break for Games there. Oh. There's nothing he could do.
Now you will see a car come from the left side, and I think iRacing thinks they made contact. Oh yeah,
they made contact. Yep. Right there.
Unlucky.
Ooh. Oh, tough break for Gamez.
See if Van der Velde is continuing, because you know sometimes the damage is shown only to us, but then the driver is okay. And you know, I tell you what, I think he's okay. The wheel has popped back into position.
Yeah, his car looks fine. He's still out there. So, before I was rudely interrupted about SDK Gaming. So, SDK-gaming.co.uk. Add virtual live heads-up display to iRacing. Show timing towers. Enhance relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculations, and more. Stream to Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing. Broadcast your league and series. SDK Gaming syncs your commentary team's cameras, focus drive, and overlay with your broadcaster. Adjust your team's strategy on the fly with our most accurate live timing on iRacing. So SDK Gaming, sdk-gaming.co.uk. As we have a bunch of, as everyone has entered the pits, the Groat's going to jump out here. We see Rondoletto. And we look at Nakabayashi as he was a lap down. And this could put De Groot and Rondoletto back together again.
Yes, probably it will, because they are, you know, one next to the other. And I think it will give Nakabayashi. No, he won't take the wave around. He won't. He will remain one lap down. Because I think that Van den Belde was still in front of him because he stayed out, but Ture was able to sneak past, and so Ture will get his lap back. Van den Belde, not only his car seems to be okay, but he also hasn't pitted, so he's in the lead right now.
Yeah. Spin, get involved in the caution, and take the lead.
So, in the first stint, which was the one with the least amount of cautions, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we had a caution on lap 45, so trying to think. I should know by this point in the race, you know, how long they can go on a fuel, on a tank of fuel, but. That's where the unprofessionality comes in, you know, and but you know, we also keep the viewers with a little bit of because, you know, who knows if you stop now, you probably need to do two stops. No, you need to do 50. So if you can do 50,
you need to do at least one more if you pit it now, I think.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be really close. You're going to have to.
So that's the logic, I think, behind Van den Belde staying out, because he stopped on lap 109, so he still has a bit of fuel left in his tank. He can, you know, fill the car and be safe to come home with, you know, plenty of fuel to spare.
Yeah, he could go off stint.
Yeah, we'll see. The lights are out on the pace car, and I think sometimes the commentators having no clue about strategy makes the broadcast more interesting. It's a cheap way out that I find, you know, when I'm struggling with the calculations. So
it also engages our viewers. You know, it also allows them to be engaged and and have them talk in the chat and say, hey, this is what we think. You're wrong, commentator. So if you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for Apex Racing TV. And you'll be notified when one of our amazing broadcasts that we have is up on the air.
So we have
as I mentioned,
behind the leader, and we have another car behind the leader, which I cannot find for the life of me.
That's Snyder.
So there is another car behind them. So there is two lapped cars in front of the leader, and the green flag goes out right now.
Yeah, that was Van der Belde in front. So Van der Belde's going to take the lead as he gets the green. As you see De Groot and Rondoletto. And De Grote really catching up to him as he exits turn 1 onto the short chute. Riding on board now, Octavio Rondoletto onto the backstretch with Nick de Groot in front.
Yeah, that was the Grote, of course. I'm very stupid. It's not a lapped car, so there was only one lapped car in the leaders. And the rest of the field.
Marco, we will forgive you considering it's what time where you are?
20 to 5. As Robert Smith has disappeared.
Zelenka, as we see, back up with de Groot. He is currently running in second place. Van de Velde in first. De Groot and Rondoletto with the fresher tires, though, as we see through. Taking a pass on Zelenka. He'll now go up into 12th place.
Remember, Caden, the number 57, took the wave around, so he's on older tires. Stopped on lap 110, so basically the same lap as Van de Velde, who's your leader right now.
Looks like de Groot and Rondoletto going to have to deal with some lap traffic as well before they get to Van de Velde. So we ride on board with Rondoletto. We look out the back of La Menace car. Bennett currently running in 15th.
He's the meat in the lead car sandwich, basically. He's second on the racetrack, but of course, as you were saying, 15th. So he's the lap car that they will have to contend with. Stopped on lap 119.
Now let's see if de Groot and Rondoletto work together here. They do have some time to make up, and granted, Van de Velde is on a different pit strategy than them, but you never know with a caution what could happen. As we ride on board with Octavio, currently running in third spot. Last time around, running a 41.34, and Nick de Groot also running a 41.34. So dead even speed-wise last time around this track. With 136 laps into this 200-lap race here at the Sim Races for Mental Health Indy 500.
I mean, if de Groot and Rondoletto start fighting, with the lapped car in between them, Van de Velde, despite being off strategy, could really pull off a great coup. I mean, this could be one of the luckier, but not only luckier, but you also need to be good to be lucky, I think it would play his cards perfectly,
Yeah, and Van de Velde was in our last caution. Remember that he, in theory, he should be, he should have a hurt race car. If depending on what angle you looked at, and depending on how iRacing's physics work, it's like his rear end his back wheel got touched.
I know, in the moment of impact, at least on my end, the wheel looked like it was completely broken away. The suspension was broken, but evidently on his side of things, which is the one that matters, everything was fine, and so iRacing updated the data after a few seconds, sent it to all the clients, including us, and the car seems to be okay, because if it was a broken right rear, probably wouldn't be leading the way. So I think for him it's the best thing probably that could happen, something along the lines of we get like another 20 laps of green flag. He should make it, given the cautions. Then a yellow flag that sends everybody in for a pit stop, and this means that his track position would be 100% true to what we see right now, but there are still many permutations, of course. Even with green flag stops, his position now is very good, especially because behind them, look at the importance of the dirty air. De Groot and Rondoletto cannot make their way past Blaimena, who stopped on lap 119. These are the two fastest cars of the day, and still they cannot make their way past a lapped car. And also they're fighting against each other, which adds another layer of uncertainty.
And Mena has just gone past Van de Velde. So hang on a minute here. Our 1, 2, and 3 could be back together again very, very, very shortly. As we see Vanderbilt, our leaders, are the second car in that train now, riding along with Rondoletto, who is technically in second place on the track.
This is a disaster for Vanderbilt now because he has very worn tires, and the last thing he needs is, dirty air from the car in front. And look at that, he's now dropping like a stone. Here comes Rondoletto to take the lead. Oh, but there's a roadblock there.
He's going to have to deal with traffic here. Vanderbilt trying now to find a way around Menace, saying, come on, let's go, hurry up. I have these two breathing down my neck. And if I'm DeGroat right now, I'm just going to play it really casual. Here's Rondoletto on the outside. On the short shoot. And Rondoletto's going to complete the pass, and he'll get back into first place. And DeGroat's going to pit. I'm sorry, it's Vanderbilt. Check that. I'm sorry.
Good decision, in my opinion. He knew that he was a dead duck, a sitting duck in the middle. I was about to say, the guys at the front have always showed to be very, very composed. And, as I say that, we almost had a disaster there. Because that is Mena, I think. He has now dropped 2 places.
Menace starting to drop back. He's now tangling with David Hanger. And we see Vanderbilt exiting the pits.
DeGroat is in.
And Nick DeGroat.
That's very, very early.
Usually that's Rondoletto's job, this race of our. Rondoletto's always been the guy to go in first, but this time around, Nick DeGroat goes in.
They stopped 13 laps ago. So maybe he wants to get out of traffic. That's the explanation I can think of. He takes the tires, fuel, and then he will be good to go to the end of the race. That's the explanation I can think about.
I think that's the right call.
No penalties, nothing. He's perfectly fine. As we have a slow car, Marquijano, I think has hit the wall.
And Juan Carlos Marquijano entering pit lane.
Hopefully he doesn't spin because his car is compromised in balance.
Well, looks like he'll make it. He was smart enough to kind of duck down onto the... As we see Octavio Rondoletto now in the lead. DeGroat is now running 13th. Vanderbilt is running 14th on the track. And now our new second place man is Paul Jenkins in the 35.
Jenkins, who was up front at the beginning of the race, he dropped a bit back. Never lower than the top 5, but he was never really dangerous,
Yeah, Jenkins looked like he was gonna, challenge those guys for a little bit, then dropped back. He got swept up with Nakabayashi and Snyder and kind of hung around that 4th, 5th spot. Now he's running in second place. And he pitted the same lap as Rondoletto, Hanger, Jeffrey, guys around him as well. So we'll see what happens here.
Top 10 all stopped in the last caution on lap 130. And then behind them we have DeGroat to stop on 142, of course, Vandenbeld 149, Toure stopped right now. And that's it for the drivers on the lap, because then we have Blaimena, who's 13th, he's 1 lap down, lap 119, but as of right now, he is out of the picture for the race win. So, this race is getting more and more interesting as we are about to enter the final 50 laps of the race. And these drivers are probably already thinking forwards to the final stint, which probably for some drivers has already started. But you can see, for example, Rondoletto is not answering to the undercut. That's probably attempted by DeGroat, or just for DeGroat an attempt to have some clean track. If we bring up the track map, which I say like someone needs to bring it up, in reality is always me, you will see that DeGroat and Vanderbilt have plenty of open space in front of them and behind them.
Absolutely, he's got clean air, and as you said, I'm surprised no one followed them. I'm surprised Rondoletto or someone else decided not to go with them. You know, we've seen this we've seen this every other time where Rondello's always been the guy that goes first, and then a lap or two later you see De Groot and everyone else jump afterwards. But this is a really interesting decision by De Groot and by Vanderbilt. He's, you know, don't count him out of it yet either.
Yeah, I was about to say, as Garcia goes in, maybe Van den Belt and De Groot could even work together, which is something that we have not seen tonight amongst the lead drivers, because they have so much clean air right now around them that they can easily swap draft and really make up a ton of time. So we'll see, because if they manage to coordinate that, you know, sometimes, I mean, these drivers are so good that they can coordinate swap drafting even without talking. If you know, I mean, sometimes I try to swap draft with people without, you know, using the voice chat in order to not give away the strategy. So I, you know, pass the guy, do alpha lap in front and move out of the way. Then the other guy passes me, and then the next time he blocks me. So
yeah, you're hoping he gets the other guy gets the idea. You know, like, okay, I think I know what this guy is doing. But sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
It's not as bad as when some people, like you are sitting like in tent on a super speedway racing NASCAR. You're trying to make it your way back to the lead group, and then guys in your group start fighting against each other for no particular reason.
You dropped back for a reason, and then everyone else around you starts battling. As we look at Paul Jenkins now still running in second. David Hanger behind him.
His lead 2.5 seconds is the biggest lead of the day probably, and it seems like a huge lead right now, even though it's only 2.5 seconds.
It does. It feels like he's in another galaxy, because him and Nick De Groot have been neck and neck. At times they were 0.0, 0.1, at times during this race. And for him to have a 2.45 second lead, he's almost in another zip code.
I tell you what, seems like Nakabayashi got his lap back, because he stopped on 130, he's 60.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a wave around or by the admins, or maybe more probably I lost track of where the pace car was. Vargas comes in for his final stop, I think.
As everyone begins to spread out, just take a quick moment to talk about Virtual Racing School. So virtualracingschool.com. Virtual Racing School, improve your on-track performance with 50 plus data packs. That's 50 plus data packs. Road and oval racing, setups, track guides, data analysis, and you get one-on-one coaching. So check it out at virtualracingschool.com. Look at Anthony Garcia in Marco's favorite livery of the race. Garcia's had a very rough one in some regards, but has managed to, fight his way back up, currently running in 11th spot.
I know we lost a few cars in the opening big one, and some cars didn't qualify, so I haven't seen all of the liveries, but I'm a bit disappointed we don't have any 1998 Ganassi Racing liveries.
Jimmy Vasser, Alex Zanardi, JPM. That's one of the best liveries in IndyCar of all time. That's the red with the yellow kind of lightning bolts.
Yes. I even had a diecast of that car. That I bought like in I got in 1998, and here in Italy you have to know that IndyCar is basically almost unknown. So I have no idea why they made it, but I had no idea. 1998, I was 9 years old, no? So I knew about the existence of IndyCar, but that livery looks so cool that instead of buying a diecast of an F1 car that were very prominent in Italy back then, I got one of the of that car, and only later I realized, man. And of course, since I moved house 4 or 5 times in my life, one of those 4 or 5 times it got lost together with all my other F1 diecasts. But that's another story.
So it's funny you say that, because so growing up when I was in high school, in the summers I worked for a NASCAR memorabilia store, and as a Christmas gift one year they gave me, this is 1999, they gave me a Juan Montoya 1/18th scale, target car. So in my living room right now I have a large cabinet with a lot of die cast in as our ninth caution comes out. Ooh.
It's Marchiano.
Macchiano.
And
He's had trouble.
I hope he can make it back to the pits, but that car, as you can see, he's got his side pod messed a bit on his right rear, and the front right is also has seen better days. And if you go on board with him, maybe the gyroscopic camera, you will see that basically is like being in turbulent air with your airplane. So
yeah, very rough ride.
This was at the end of the crash, so let's see if we get it a bit earlier. So you were saying about those NASCAR diecasts.
Yeah.
In your room, you have the.
So in my living room, there's a large IKEA cabinet full of 1/24th NASCARs, and there at the bottom there's a 1/18th Juan Pablo Montoya target car. So occasionally, I open up the cabinet, I dust them and whatnot. And a few days ago, my wife finds on the floor a little red thing. Ooh, he hit the wall right there. And she goes, "Do you have any idea what this is?" And I'm like, "That might be a wing mirror off a die-cast car." And sure enough, this little red piece was the wing mirror off the 1999 Juan Pablo Montoya 1/18th Action Racing Collectibles car. So,
I
great
keep my
liver.
NASCAR. I keep my, now I collect NASCAR diecasts, even though at an alarmingly slow rate, because, costumes, unfortunately. So when I buy one, but my collection is growing slowly but surely. So right now on my desk we have 2001. We have 2001 Jeff Gordon with the Pepsi, classic Pepsi livery as Snyder is staying out, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Which I think that was
Let's see what happens here.
Oh no, yeah, it's. And then I have 2003 Mark Martin, which was my favorite driver in NASCAR. Of the famous, very famous sponsor, which I don't think I can say because we will get demonetized.
It was a pharmaceutical.
Yes. And 2013 or 12 Carl Edwards Fastenal car, and my proudest, the best I own is the 2017 Kurt Busch Daytona raced car, with the old, so
the monster.
Yeah, all the it was with all the confetti and the damage.
Yeah, the race worn ones, or whatever they're called now.
So
yeah,
I'm a massive Ford fan. So I watch the race. After half an hour, I'm on Fanatics and I buy and of course it takes 6-7 months to get it shipped to you, so I wait and I wait and I wait, and finally it comes. And I was so excited that I went to to see, mom, look, it's beautiful. And she looks at that. Did they send you a broken one? I said, no, this is the purpose, because this is the way the car was when it went to victory lane. She says, and this costs extra?
Yes. It does.
I mean, all the excitement was...
And I'll tell you, someone that's collected NASCAR diecast since the 90s, it's gotten more difficult with all the new paint schemes, because when everyone had the same paint scheme for most of the year, except for maybe the All-Star race. And now it's like every other week it's a new paint scheme. So I've thrown in the towel on trying to keep up with it in the sense. It's only I've gotten to the point now. It's like if I like the driver and I really like the paint scheme, I've been really into some of the throwbacks for like the Darlington weekend. Those are the ones I've been collecting recently when possible. But now my wife are in the process of moving, so I have to now pack up all these diecasts, which is going to be fun.
I feel your pain again. You know, the other day my parents were saying, hey, you know, maybe it's time to move. You know, there is a nice new housing complex a couple of kilometers. No. I had 4 or 5, you know, times I moved houses in my life. You know, and I'm 32 years old, so it's like a very, very alarming rate of moving around. You know, it's not like, you know, you move from Los Angeles to New York. No, I moved around the same city. You know, Rome here in Italy. So, I mean, at some point, you need to say, okay, stop.
All right, and we stop our stories as we get ready to go green with Isaac Snyder in the lead to Groton second, Bell third, Garcia fourth, Rondoletto in fifth. And getting above the caution might have been.
Yeah, no, Rondoletto is the leader of the guys that stopped under this caution, whilst these other guys have stopped earlier, and Snyder hasn't stopped at all. Stopped on 130, so interesting call from him.
And a battle here between Vanderbilt and DeGroot for second place as we ride along with Vanderbilt. Oh! Oh, we're gonna get a caution.
Maybe. There is no one behind him. No, we're staying green because there is no one behind him, and DeGroot!
Oh, wow. DeGroot's in the pits.
Oh, man. Did he get a penalty at the restart? This could be a disaster.
Oh, no.
I'll keep an eye on him on the timing tower, but he needs a caution right now.
So you look at Henger and Rossi.
Let's see if he stops.
We see DeGroot exiting the pits.
Let's see if he stops, it takes tires, or it's just, you know, a penalty. No, he's stopping for tires.
What happened?
We'll keep an eye on his time in the pits. It's 8 seconds, so it's a splash. Maybe
so he must have. Yeah, he had to underfuel then. Ooh, tough.
He will stay on the lead lap.
Pits. As we see Isaac Snyder in the lead, Twan Vanderbilt currently in second, Anthony Garcia in third, Octavio Rondoletto in fourth, Paul Jenkins currently in fifth. Snyder has been out there. Last time he pitted was lap 130. So, and he's got a whole bunch of cars behind him, looking really racy now at the front. Oh! Belden Garcia! Oh no!
How are we still green?
I don't know. I don't know, Marco. Here we go.
Nick DeGroot, the happiest man in Indiana. We were on board with the car behind them, and we saw this basically, you know, we were on board with Rondoletto. And
Rondoletto.
This is probably a late replay. This is the correct one.
All right. Oh no.
Garcia's car this time, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
He won't be able to continue.
Are we sure though? Are we sure that Anthony Garcia's car is officially done? So let's see here. Look in slow motion. This is a great look. And it looks like Vanderbilt came up the track and
Rondoletto collected a massive amount of debris. Hopefully his car is okay.
Oh. Yeah, his whole front end came off. As Snyder enters the pits.
His car seems to be okay. So Jenkins second, Anger third, Rossi in fourth, Nakabayashi in fifth, and Nick de Groot, despite his splash, is up into seventh. As I heard an engine go, and yeah.
And that will be the end of through.
That was
Caden through, I believe.
I think it was Games's engine. The
Okay.
car right behind, but you know.
Gotcha.
It seems like thankfully this time the engine went and you know
And
stopped. They didn't have a barbecue on pit road, so. But you know, incredible that with all the close racing we had at the top of the field, that this is the first wreck we had, you know, in the front of the field, which shows the quality that we have had on display tonight. So, I mean, you know, disappointed that it happened, but it's been some very, very close racing, and this top 5 looks, I mean, yes, Nakabayashi is quick, but it was a lap down. Rossi, Enger, and Jenkins, I mean, they were around, but, you know, not by much. Rossi is plus 19, so, you know, sometimes it pays when you come, when you know, you don't take too many risks during the race. It pays off a lot, because now you find yourself with 35 laps to go at the restart, basically, in the top 5, top 10, you know, in a position to win. So Ture made its way back to the track, but that car doesn't seem to be okay.
Yeah, that car's hurting. That car is definitely not doing well. Yeah, he's gonna pull it in.
So here comes Forsyth. These cars are already in the. I mean, Van de Belt is out, Garcia is out.
But how lucky is Nick de Groot? He must have a horseshoe in the car with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Ture had a fast repair left and didn't use it, because he's coming back on track. I'm still not convinced that car is 100%, but we will see.
I would agree with you. That car is not 100%. It looks like the pace car lights are out. And Octavio Rondoletto is going to have the lead with Paul Jenkins in second. David Henger third. Daniel Rossi fourth. Okay, Nakabayashi, he's back up there now in 5th place. Eric Jeffrey in 6th. Nick de Groot in 7th. Isaac Snyder in 8th. Robert Zelenka, wow, is now in 9th place. Caden Thrun, who we saw really riding the struggle bus there, is in 10th spot.
Okay.
So everyone's everyone's kind of pitted. So looking at Rondoletto, he's pitted at lap 56. I'm looking down at Nick de Groot. He pitted lap 59. So everybody's kind of within the same general fueling area. So looking as we get the green flag, and Rondoletto is going to take off. Let's see if anyone can go with him. So Marco, looking at our YouTube chat here on Apex Racing TV, in regards to our last incident, it seems like there is not a massive Nick de Groot fan club out there. I'm sorry, Vanderbilt, I'm sorry. There's not a massive Vanderbilt fan club, so
even
maybe there's some past history.
Someone else had harsher words for Garcia, but they got ban-hammered. This race has everything.
Yep, as we see Jenkins now take the lead, and he's battling Rondoletto. Paul Jenkins back up out in front.
We far, far away from a final chapter in this race. Anything can happen, and as always, probably will here at Indianapolis. On board with Jenkins on the nose of his car, and he has the pace to stay up there. He was very quick in qualifying. The race he never dropped out of the top 5. Maybe he played it safe. He played to survive and to come here to play in the last 30 laps or so. As lap 167 starts right now, where is Nick de Groot? There he is. He's in P7.
Yeah, de Groot currently running in 7th. As we look out the back of Octavio Rondoletto's car. Putting a little time on Jenkins as they head down the backstretch, trying to break the draft a little bit as they head into 3. Rondoletto really working that low line when possible in the turns. Jenkins really running high, almost out of the groove at points. As we head to the front stretch to start lap 168 of 200s here on the Sim Racing for Mental Health Indy 500 here on Apex Racing TV.
Zelenka!
Oh, that's Zelenka.
That's his race. We stay green. He's well on the inside, so no risk in. We lost it midway through the corner, and that wall there, the Arco barrier, greeting him. I tell you what.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he lose it like that earlier in the race?
I think, yeah, it was the second caution of the race, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, absolutely, same place. And maybe it's a case of
He's still wrong. What's he doing?
These are live pictures. This is not a
What
replay. He's trying to bring it home. Look at the amazing lifting.
You can see out the front of the car in the cockpit. Look at it. Oh, can he make it?
He can.
Oh.
I don't think he has a faster pair available. So this is going to be it, but major props for
They should give him one for that performance right there, being able to bring the car back. As we get back to our lead, we watch Octavio Rondoletto on the backstretch here, trying to weave to break the draft. He's got Jenkins and David Hanger's no pun intended, hanging around.
He is.
We ride on board with Hanger. Jenkins is really taking a really high line out of those turns.
29 to go. As now, I mean, this is my favorite part of doing these late night broadcasts in this time of the year, because the window is open, the sun in the sky is getting lighter and lighter, and more importantly, I live next to a valley with lots of with a little bit of a wood, and so now there's a bird concert.
And it's pitch black where I am. So, as we see, I'm surprised Nick de Groot has not made up time here. He's now dropped back a spot. He's now going to be in 8th as Isaac Snyder has passed him. De Groot was the guy I think a lot of people thought was going to win this race, considering how well him and Rondoletto were running early in the race. But he has not been able to make up time ever since we had this little series of cautions and pit stops. Riding on board with Nakabayashi, who's done a great job coming from a lap down. Now up in the 5th spot. He's looked really racy all day, looking in front of him at Daniel Rossi, who's had a great race as well, kept his nose clean. Paul Jenkins currently in the 2nd spot. David Hanger behind him. Jenk is a little over half a second behind Rondello, so Rondello's starting to stretch his lead out just a little bit. Last time by, Rondelletto ran a 41.52 with Jenkins running a 41.58. So Rondelletto pretty fast on track right now, even though he is in the lead.
This would be amazing timing as the growth is dropping back, now overtaken by Tour, and now it's Forsyth, so something is clearly not right on that car.
Yeah, absolutely. Something's not right at all. I mean, we saw...
you know, cosmetically wise, it seems to be okay, but apparently there's something, or maybe just he doesn't like driving in traffic, you know. We said how important it is to stay at the front, especially with everyone running the same setup.
Yeah, this is a really... I would love to know what happened to Nick de Groot, because he was really looking like potentially him and Rondelletto being the guys to beat. As we see Tharoon enter the pits. And now de Groot's going to have to deal with Craig Forsyth. Forsyth currently running in 9th place. And he gets a run. He'll go low. And he will make the pass on Nick de Groot and say, see you later. So Nick de Groot has dropped like a stone over this last few laps.
We are seeing other stops. Maybe we will have other pit stops. So maybe de Groot is driving to an amber instead.
You know?
His last lap, 42.0. Is, you know...
You might be right. I'm looking at... He pitted last at 159. Everyone else, let's see, looking at Rondelletto, Jenkins, Henger, Rossi, our top 5 all pitted at lap 156. Snyder, 162, Forsyth at 163. So, perhaps he could be stretching out, as you said. That's a great thought.
It is also maybe why we are seeing this, you know, single file racing right now, and no one really attacking another driver. You know, they're all Linus third, not trying to do too much. So this time the growth 43.7. I mean, we don't have like, you know, how do you say?
Yeah.
Failures in a racing, like, you know, yes, the engine can blow, but if you do something, but we don't have.
You're not gonna see like electrical gremlins or.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do a lap on board with him and see his speedometer. No, he's driving to a number.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you can look at the bottom of your screen, you can look at, he's in 6th gear. First off, and look how low his revs are. He is clearly driving to a number right now. I mean, as you know, Marco, you know, when you're driving this track, you're usually in 5th gear, revs are pretty high. He is in lunk mode, essentially, where... So this could be a potentially winning strategy by Nick de Groot.
You know, maybe using SDK Gaming, because you can see the... you can have also among the nice features, a live fuel calculator.
Absolutely. So, sdk-gaming.co.uk. You can add virtual live heads-up display to iRacing, show timing towers, enhance relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculations, and more. And you can stream to your Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing. You can broadcast your league series. So SDK Gaming syncs your commentary team's cameras, focus drive, and overlay with your broadcast. Adjust your team's strategy on the fly, perhaps like Nick de Groot is doing with the most accurate live timing on iRacing. sdk-gaming.co.uk. So perhaps he is using SDK Gaming for this really, really well thought out potential fuel run. looking at our times, he's... See, this time around he ran a 42. Other laps he's run 43, 45. Everyone now is running in the 41 fives. And then De Groot's running a 42, so he's almost a second slower than everyone.
Yeah, I will switch for a bit to the last time on the timing tower so we can see every lap that goes by, the lap that these guys are making. He seems to be the only one that is in his extreme fuel saving mode. Oh!
No! Snyder!
We stay green. We stay green because he moved on the apron. And here comes the growth. And he has towed back to the pits, so Snyder out of the race.
Let's see what happened. Oh! Is that Mena he got into it with?
I think you are correct.
It looks like he had lost it already, and...
Now, the previous event I have on the event viewer is 5 minutes before this, so there is no way we are going to to catch back.
No.
So he was
Looks like
sliding.
he lost it.
I don't know if it was because of a contact or you know, as...
I don't think so.
No, I mean, probably he lost it on his own. By the way, Nakabayashi is in for his last stop. We're getting more and more probable that everyone here has to stop.
Okay, Nakabayashi is the first of our leaders to stop with 18 to go here on the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 on Apex Racing TV. Tavio Rondoletto currently in first, Paul Jenkins in second, David Hanger in third, Dana Rossi fourth, Craig Forsyth in fifth, Nick DeGroot in sixth, and now Kai Nakabayashi in seventh spot as we see Craig Forsyth enter the pit. And who will be the next to come in?
I think Snyder took his fast repair. He's back on track, but he's of course lost,
as we see,
2 laps. 1 lap he lost. So out of
Snyder
out
with
of
the fully built race car back together again after losing it and coming to contact with Mena. And as we look and see who's going to be the next to come in with 16 to go, as we see Forsyth leaving the pits. As we look at Eric Jeffrey and Kai Nakabayashi. Nakabayashi looking to go high. Now drops low, coming into the short chute onto 4. And it looks like, no, I thought Jeffrey's going to go into the pit from him. He just ducked really low, tried to break the draft. Kabayashi with a run on the outside, and he doesn't have enough to get by the Arrow McLaren SPM liveried car. Kabayashi making up time in the turn, going on to the back straight with a run going to the outside. Will he have enough, though? Going into 3. No, he doesn't. He gets close, but not close enough, Nakabayashi.
This would be a good chance. Great defending, hard defending by Jeffrey. Nakabayashi has to move on the outside, so again, very, very tough for him to make the move despite having 7 lap fresher tires as Mena comes into the pits. That was a bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, very close. Kabayashi, he can make really good runs, but he just doesn't get close enough. I mean, we've seen this a few times with him throughout the race, where he can get a really great run, but he's just not there. Jeffrey's had a fairly quiet race, up 11 spots from where he started, so shout out to him. As we see Rondoletto, our leader, now with an almost second lead over Paul Jenkins. As we go back to briefly to Nick DeGroot running in 5th on his fuel stretch run, as we see this battle for 6th with Eric Jeffrey and Kai Nakabayashi. Nakabayashi going back to the outside. Could he get the run this time? We'll see. Here they are neck and neck going into 3. And he just can't. He's there, but not close enough. And then going to the short chute, Jeffries just gets that nice inside run. And as they go into the front stretch...
Sorry, I might be stupid, but...
Go for it.
Okay, everything, I was about to say they should be stopping in front.
And Rondoletto's now in the pits. Our leader has entered the pits with 12 to go. That puts Paul Jenkins into the lead of this race.
This will be a splash. So let's see if the Groot can get past Rondoletto and if he can keep his car there, of course.
As we see Nick DeGroot trying to stretch his fuel as far as he can, and he will pass Octavio Rondoletto, who's currently in the pits for 4th spot. As our leader Paul Jenkins enters the pits, and that will put David Henger into the lead, followed by Daniel Rossi in 2nd place. Rossi up 21 spots. A very impressive run for him as well.
Has got 7 seconds over Rondoletto and he's still lapping very, very slowly. So you have to imagine at some point either he's going to stop saving the fuel or maybe we'll try to manage this disadvantage for the remaining 11 laps, as these two guys are very, very close to bring out a caution. Of course they don't, as Jenkins comes out, the Groot is in 3rd. So let's keep our cameras on Henger and Rossi. With 11 to go, they both stay out.
Both pitted at lap 156, so they're due at any point here.
They stopped 3 laps before the Groot.
Nick DeGroot. And DeGroot's been saving, whereas these guys, I don't know if they haven't. As we watch this battle, these two, Jeffrey and Nakabayashi, have just been going at it. Nakabayashi has to be super frustrated at this point, where he is just getting really good runs, and he's so close, but he's not able to complete the pass. As we watch him down the front straight, as we see Rossi duck into the pits, our 2nd place man is now ducked in, as we see Nick DeGroot currently in the backstretch.
Someone is pushing. See now, much higher revs, still in 6th, but going much faster. So the fuel saving should be done, and the Groot could bring this home on an economy run, but still, it's we will only know at the end of the race.
We are at 9 to go, as our leader David Henger has now entered the pits. And let's see where Nick DeGroot ends up. He is currently on the backstretch. Now going into 3. This will be interesting to see when Henger leaves the pits and DeGroot comes by. As we see Rondoletto currently in 3rd place, and Nick DeGroot is now taking the lead here at the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 with 8 to go.
Penalty for Henger.
Oh no!
He's still sitting there. More than 20 seconds. A stop is like 5, 6, 7 seconds in this portion of the race.
Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for David Henger.
So now the Groot has to manage 4.8 seconds over Octavio Rondoletto. Can he make it to the finish line? He's now pushing, so he thinks his fuel saving is done. No!
He's coming in!
So that's why he was pushing.
Oh no! He locks it up!
That is why he was pushing. He realized he couldn't make it.
Oh!
And now we have to see if he got a speeding penalty, because that was on the limit.
Nick DeGroot has to come in and then locks it up. Ooh, and he has trouble getting into the pit stall. And that'll
He's
put
good.
Octavio...
No penalty. Incredible.
No penalty. Great driving job by Nick DeGroat. And that will put Octavio Rondoletto back into the lead with 7 to go. And, oh, I thought he was going to jump in for a second. Got excited. And Paul Jenkins is not far behind. Jenkins
is pushing like a madman. 40.88, the fastest lap of the race. 41.6 for Rondoletto.
We saw Paul Jenkins earlier look really racy at the start of this race. So maybe he has something in the bag for Octavio Rondoletto as we have 6 to go as our first 2 go into turn 3.
So
riding on board with Paul Jenkins.
Was sitting in his pit stop for only 6 seconds. 8.5 for Jenkins. You know, maybe... Oh!
Down the front stretch they go! Jenkins and Rondoletto. Jenkins to the lead. Can he make the pass? Rondoletto to the inside. Side by side into 2 onto the backstretch. Octavio Rondoletto on the low side. Jenkins on the high side.
So
neck and neck they go.
Maybe Rondoletto is on a bit of a tighter fuel because only 6 seconds. Keeps the lead, barely.
Oh, side by... Oh! It almost touched. And they swap sides with Jenkins going low, Rondoletto going high. Did Jenkins make the pass? Looks like he's going to. Rondoletto swings wide, cuts in. Rondoletto with about a car's length advantage as they go into 2 and then head down the backstretch. Rondoletto really high right there. And let's see if he can get a run on Jenkins as they head down the backstretch. Right on Jenkins' tail. Pulls out. Can he make the pass? Side by side into 3. This is great racing. Into 4. Jenkins is going to complete the pass as they head down the front stretch. Rondoletto is going to just get in his draft, then try to make a run on the outside. He's going to try to swing wide again, and he'll be side by side as they come out of turn 1 onto the short chute. Oh, looks from the angle, looks like they touched, and they are side by side again on the backstretch, and here we go. Paul Jenkins, Octavio Rondoletto riding along with Rondoletto. He technically has a little bit of a lead right now. He's going to swing wide again, going into 3, but Jenkins is going to take the lead. As we head down the short chute, down into 4, as we look high above, Jenkins takes with the advantage. Rondoletto in his draft pulls out. As they get to the line, Rondoletto has a little bit of a lead, so that could come in handy with just 2 to go here at the Sim Races for Mental Health Indy 500. Rondoletto now into the lead, coming out of 2 and onto the backstretch.
And remember, a caution ends the race, so they need to be super careful, or maybe no, not careful. Throw caution to the wind.
To the inside. Oh, side by side out of 3. Jenkins gets ahead. Paul Jenkins.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Is in trouble? He hits the wall. Coming to the white flag, Octavio Rondoletto hits wall, gets inside, and Paul Jenkins is going to take this if he just keeps it in the groove. As we watch this battle for 3rd with Jeffrey Nakabayashi for a moment. But Paul Jenkins, who looked so racy at the beginning, then dropped back a little bit, and then was there at winning time, is going to take the Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500. Take a bow, sir. Paul Jenkins wins it.
Fight for 3rd. Jeffrey gets it.
Let's see who got it. Wow, great race between these 2. And shout out to Daniel Rossi in 2nd, up 21 spots from where he started this race.
Well. You know,
Oh.
you know, people say, you know, it's a long race. It's tough for the drivers. For us in the commentary booth, but you always do it because you get an ending like this, and this was absolutely incredible. And Paul Jenkins was so quick, 3rd place in qualifying. At the beginning of the race he looked a bit timid, dropped a little bit back, but he played the cards the right way. He waited for the end of the race to really show his pace. He closed the gap on Rondoletto so quickly after the final stop in the final 10-15 laps. Battled, and Rondoletto couldn't hold on, and Jenkins is the deserved winner, and I'm sure we will see some donuts.
Oh, we are going to get a celebration for sure from Paul Jenkins as he does a nice set of donuts right on the front stretch here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a great race he ran. We thought it was going to be, Rondoletto, or Nick de Groot. And
it's a Polish victory lap.
Proper. A proper Polish victory lap here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. No, maybe not. Nope. No. Just more donuts.
I was about to boast that probably I'm the only Italian who knows what a Polish victory lap is, but Paul Jenkins stopping my vanity moment in his tracks.
As someone of Polish and Italian heritage, I love it. It's fantastic. But what a great race, and Paul Jenkins looked so racy at the end and was able to make a great pass on Rondoletto and forced Rondoletto into an error.
Oh yeah, we should see in slow motion
as the tail end.
Of course, this is already well past, so this could be a good replay. Let's see. No, of course not.
No, but
but this one.
That's what the balance. But
no.
But that second video you just showed was that's how close they were. They were, Rondoletto was getting some great runs, was able to kind of get even on. Let's see. Here we go, right here. Let's see.
So he got in the dirty air. He kept it his foot down. There was no. He had to go for it. So.
He had to, and he was running wider and wider lines. Making bigger arcs as the race came to its end. But unbelievable. As we look at your final results here at this 2021 Sim Races for Mental Health Indy 500, Paul Jenkins, your winner, followed by Daniel Rossi, Kei Nakabayashi in 3rd, Eric Jeffrey in 4th, Caden Through in 5th, Craig Forsyth in 6th, Nick de Groot in 7th, Octavio Rondoletto in 8th, David Hanger 9th, Bla Mana 10th, Isaac Snyder 11th, Juan Marquijano in 12th, Robert Zelenka 13th, Juan Vandebeld 14th, Anthony Garcia 15th, Lucio Vargas 16th, Robert Smith 17th, Juan Gamez 18th. Craig Conway was in 19th, Kevin Adams was in 20th, Miguel Cardozo 21st, Aaron Brown 22nd, Gerardo Cerube 23rd, Sergio Navagukis 24th, Michael Chin 25th, Tyler Scott 26th, Kobe Moore 27th, John Silva 28th, Jason Parker 29th, William Kruzka 30th, Kurt Rose 31st, Jeff Only 32nd, and Lucas Lem in 33rd. So that is your...
Yeah. I sent the link in the chat, so if anyone wants to have a chat with us, can come. I see that
any of the drivers want to join us?
I see that a couple of drivers have just signed up to the Discord, so we'll see if they will. Okay, so we have Paul Jenkins straight away, and he's standing by with Jonathan.
I will bring him in. Paul Jenkins, first off, congratulations on an amazing victory here.
I was not so sure that was going to work out. What a race. I cannot believe I actually pulled that one off.
So you looked really racy at the beginning. You were really close with the leaders, and then you kind of dropped back into 5th or so. Did you have a strategy of, maybe I'll sit back for a little bit and then make a run at the end?
Well, I was really having a hard time getting the car to bite in early. The car was really, it kind of got into a bubble, like about 0.6 to 0.8 behind somebody, where the car would just kind of stall out. So I was trying to figure out ways of getting the car to perform and do things without really overdoing it. So it was a lot of adjustment during the race, and kind of being conservative too. They say run the first 3 quarters of the race and then race the last quarter, and that's kind of how it went. But I wasn't expecting the fuel strategy. I really thought that DeGroot had it. I don't know. Trying to do mental math at 220 miles an hour isn't so great, but.
Yeah, the math for, I think, us in the commentary was not good to begin with, and we weren't doing 220 miles an hour. But talk about the last 10 laps. What was your strategy going to that? You and Rondello were having quite a battle where he was able to kind of pull a draft off you and get beside you, but he wasn't really able to pull away.
Well, I mean, at first it didn't seem like I was going to catch up to him, and I don't know what happened. He just started coming to me, and so. I got a hold of his draft, and just the 2 of us out there, I was able to find clean air and make some turns. And by that time, I had gotten pretty aggressive with the jackers, so the car was really biting in, which, it's a blessing and a curse because the car gets real sketchy to drive, but it does really kind of go around the corners nice. So I managed to catch up to him. Of course, once you get next to somebody, you hit that wall of air, and so we were kind of side by side for a while. And I managed to I made an adjustment on the bar going into turn 1, and I went too far, and the car started pushing. That's how he got around me. And so I corrected that in the backstretch and managed to get him back. And really, the whole time I was saying, if I'm going to get him, I've got to get him in the short chute. And sure enough, he just had enough of a bobble that I could get just my nose underneath him, and made the pass. And I think, you'll have to talk to him, but I think what happened was that he got these cars are all very aerodynamic, and so, he got into the washout, and I think he caught the wall.
Right, and before we let you go and celebrate, is there anyone you want to thank?
Well, of course, the sponsors, the Sim Races for Mental Health. This is a great charity to donate to, and William does a great job with this, and of course my teammates here at over in Lionheart Racing and AeroX, and just the great guys who race in and out every day here and put on a good show, and you guys for putting on a good broadcast. Appreciate the work, and looking forward to watching it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Paul, and congratulations on an amazing victory.
Thanks, guys. This one felt good.
And that was Paul Jenkins with us, and looks like we're gonna try to pull in a man who is a hard charger today in Isaac Snyder. Isaac, thanks for joining us. Talk about what happened. You started in the back and you just climbed through the field.
He's a bit shy, I think, because
I think he is.
We can't hear from him. Too bad, because I wanted to ask him especially about the crash, because we only saw the back end of it when he was already sideways, so we don't know if he was.
Yeah.
But we'll put the brakes on Isaac, and I think an equally interesting interview, Jonathan, with almost indestructible car. Oh no, Tony Garcia disappeared.
No.
I was about to bring him in.
Yes.
He disappeared. Let's try again with Isaac then. Isaac, no. Oh, he's back.
You want
back.
to grab him? I'll you have the honors of grabbing him.
I grabbed him, but I don't know if he can hear us.
Isaac, can you hear us? I don't think he can.
Nope. Which is
Well,
very
Isaac, if-
unfortunate. He's trying to text us.
Is he?
Yes, probably he's having. Tell you what. Let's try. Let's do this. Isaac, can you hear us? Nothing. let's try with Anthony Garcia then. Should be in with us. Jonathan, I think...
All right, Anthony, can you hear us?
Wow. Servers are not liking us tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we
yes.
do.
There is.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey,
We're doing well, Anthony. We wanted to. I know Marco has a really big question about your race and your pitting. So Marco, if you want to fire off that question right away?
Yeah, I mean, we saw you have 2 big crashes, and we only know there is 1 fast repair available. So, when did you use it? In the first or the second one? Because both of them you lost the front left, so the car looked basically, impossible to keep racing with that. But you were still very, very quick. So, which one was it?
yeah, it was definitely quite the race. I used it on the first one, the very first one. I was making that run on the outside, and he came up on me straight up. But that's how it is sometimes when you're at Indianapolis. So use it up, the quick repair on the first one. Second wreck, someone spun in front of me. I think they hit the wall, and I was trying to avoid on the high side, trying to squeeze between him and the wall, and it just clipped my left front there. So that one I had to actually do some repairs on. It was like 30 seconds, 50 seconds like that. Went another lap down. I had just gotten my lap back before, and I had to go another lap down. But the car was a beast. It was a tank, and we got our lap back. The cars, after all that repair, still had speed in it. I think psychologically, you might have felt like it was pulling a little bit different, but it still had speed, and we made our way to the front. Got to 8th, 7th, running there a while. Made a good pit strategy. I saw Nick pit early, and I wanted to follow him, but I wanted to wait a few more laps. Hopefully, that difference in tire wear would pay off later. So did that strategy, but then got into another wreck. So just how it is.
I mean, I remember when sometimes I drive this car and I damage my front left in the official races. They always tell me that too much damage, we are done. But I mean, apparently I need to get your pit crew on board for my races for the next time. But I mean, it was a very, very good race until finally the third time. Unfortunately, it wasn't the charm for you. That track was what caused you to finish the race in P15. But all in all, I dare I say, despite the disappointing results, quite the entertaining evening for you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Put on a good show there. Yeah, that third wreck, I was in third, was going for the lead on the outside, and same thing, the car under me just drifted up into me. I had a good run. I think I was really going to take the lead at that point because the 2 cars in front of me had more tire wear than I was like that 6 or 7 laps fresher tire, so I feel like I'm going to take it, but got drifted up again. But that's how it is in Indianapolis. It's fun race stuff.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Anthony. It was a fantastic race. You gave us plenty of entertainment. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, just want to thank Will for putting on the race. It was, especially after I didn't have the greatest month of May with the iRacing Indy 500s, but so this one was a little redemption, but had a chance at least. So thank Will for that one. Thank you guys for doing the announcing. Great job there. I was listening to some of your clips after I wrecked out, and to everybody who donates to the sim races for mental health. Because gotta take care of your mental health in order to get by life. Heart, mind, and soul. Gotta take care of that mind. So thanks to everybody for pitching in on this one and for entertaining night.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Anthony, and hopefully we'll catch you next time.
Alright, appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Okay, Jonathan, one more attempt with Isaac. Let's give it a try.
Alright. Isaac Snyder, are you there?
I am here now.
Yes!
Alright, so we want to know. So, what happened? So you started in the pack and you just flew through it. So take us, did you have just a bad qualifying, or what happened that you started in the back and just climbed your way through pretty quickly?
Well, honestly, I couldn't figure out how to qualify really well in that set. Didn't really have any practice with it, and then I knew with a fixed set, it'd be a little trickier for people to manage traffic, so I just kind of rode the high line all the way around and managed my way up into like 4th, I think.
I think, yeah, at one point you were up, I believe, like close to 30 spots in the race. So you were climbing through. What was your strategy? Was it I'm just going to ride the high line and pass cars at will, or what was it? It was really interesting to watch you throughout the race.
Honestly, it was try to be patient, but also try not to be held up too much. So it was mainly I only knew how to really pass on the high line, and that's what's helped me in the iRacing Open and Fix races. And yeah, it was kind of interesting coming back through the field. I did it in the major series as well, and then also crashed out at the end just from contact with another car. But it was just keep calm and just keep your head down and kind of see where you can get with run the high line. Once I got up front, it got a little tricky because they kind of knew what I was doing.
Everybody seems like they had different strategies toward the end of the race in regards to fuel. What were you thinking before you had your accident?
Well, I was in fuel map 5, which is max fuel saving, and just trying to keep a hold on the gap ahead, or the group ahead, but kind of a few laps before I had my incident, I knew it was about 3 laps short, so I kind of knew everybody else had to come in, so I tried picking up the pace, and then the car got just a little squirrely overall for the next 2 laps, and then yeah, just kind of got tagged from behind. Tried to catch it as best as I could, and then yeah, just that didn't work out. Probably would have done a little better if I didn't stop in the pits to use the bathroom, but we'll see for next time.
Great. Well, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank?
I'd just like to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, and then my sponsors, Pitbox.io, and then Lazy Rocket, and also HyperX. They actually make really good headsets. I'm surprised. I thought they weren't going to be as good, but they've been pretty quality headsets. And then SimTV, Majors, that's about it so far. And thank you guys for putting on a great broadcast too.
Right, well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on a really great run this evening.
Well, you too.
That was Isaac Snyder joining us here in with a little post-race chat. So, Marco, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
The sun is high in the snow. Not high in the sky, but the sun is officially up here in Italy, and it has been a fantastic way to spend the night with you guys. Beautiful race, absolutely fantastic ending, battles all the way through. I mean, I had some amazing fun tonight, and hopefully everyone watching, had a lot of fun as well. So, thank you very much for staying with us all throughout the event. I think that it was a very exciting edition of the Simulators for Mental Health Indy 500. I once again send you to the link. It's now on the screen. I will once again show it to you in the bottom part of the screen. And of course, if you want, it's also sticked up on the YouTube chat and in the comments. So if you're watching this race on a delay, video on demand, whatever, especially if you're like me in Europe, and you want to donate, there is still plenty of time, and you can do that by clicking the link at the bottom of the screen. For me, it's all. I will leave you with Jonathan for the final remarks.
Absolutely. So yeah, as you said, Marco, make sure you donate to the link on the bottom of the screen, as your gift means we can bring hope to 1 in 5 Americans living with a mental health condition. Together, we are fighting smarter, better, and harder than we ever have before. Without your help, over a century of service to those in need would not be possible. Thank you for your support, but also thank you for the support of Virtual Racing School, virtualracingschool.com, sdkgaming.co.uk, Apex Racing Academy, Apex Racing TV. Remember, subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can also follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV. You can follow on social media, Apex Racing TV, one word, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can watch more fantastic action this weekend on ApexRacingTV.com. If you go to ApexRacingTV.com/schedule, you can see what's coming up this weekend. I'm biased toward the Spec Racer Weekend Warriors. So if you want to check that out, that's some great racing. But we had some really amazing racing here tonight at the 2021 Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 with Paul Jenkins taking an amazing win. And that will do it. So I'm John Grabowski. On behalf of my fantastic colleague, commentator, producer extraordinaire, Marco Barbonera, happy Memorial Day if you're in America, and we will see you next time.